It's LEBRAIN Train, 2,000 words or more with Mike Ladano. And we're drinking Canada Dry. It's going to be a crazy night. We're drinking Canada Dry. Ice cold Canada Dry. And tonight, folks, we are talking new releases, new music by AC/DC, new live album by Iron Maiden, new single by Sloan. Oh, geez, who else? We got a whole ton of stuff. Gord Downey. John T. Snow is going to be talking about, he's going to be bringing lists, man. Okay, so we got Rob Daniels all aboard. And just for you, Rob, Voivod! Thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like that logo. And no, you know what? I don't drink alcohol. I haven't had any alcohol in like maybe 8 years. I just don't enjoy it. I just don't. It makes my stomach. I have a bad stomach, man. I puked last night. Yeah, I puked last night. Like it was 12:30 in the morning, and I was feeling kind of queasy. I woke up. 10 minutes later, I was puking. I don't know why. I used to puke. Stress puking, I call it. I used to puke maybe once every 2 weeks. So I'm a lot better than that now. Sorry, Rob. Sorry for the oversharing. But stress puking is a real thing. It's real, man. So, I have a pretty my stomach can't handle much, so I don't drink any alcohol anymore. Just cannot handle it at all. All right. So since you folks are the ones that are here early, you guys get to see the unboxings or unboxing. I just have one. Got my Swiss Army knife at the ready. Do I stress poop? It's a good question. I like these questions. Good question, Tyler. Yeah, you know what? I kind of do. But we won't get into too much detail. I puked too, but fun at the time till the next day. I don't know about the fun part. Is puking fun? I don't know. Different ideas of fun, I guess. So tonight we're starting the broadcast with an unboxing. This is courtesy of CD Japan. And I ordered this in February. Thanks, COVID. I ordered this in February, and there was major issues and hiccups with the shipping, and I honestly, I'm not 100% sure what this costs to ship. I'm not 100% sure. I think it cost way too much. So, without further ado, we'll open up the CD Japan box, which looks like it's just going to open without even using the knife. Rip it. Rip and destroy, as Kiss once said. Okay, we have some really nice stuff in here. And this is how you can tell that I ordered this like back in February. I ordered this when I was just kind of embarking on my loudness kick. Remember back in the early live streams, I was talking about loudness all the time. Well, back in February, I ordered this box set here that came bubble wrapped. Maybe that's why the shipping was so expensive. Hey, Sebastian. I hope you're doing well. That's a cool picture. Is that you? Sucks, man. This is a box set by Loudness, and it contains 3 of their albums with lead singer Masaki Yamada. Remember me talking about all this back in February? God, or March, really. Ghetto Machine, Dragon, and Engine. And then it also has a DVD with videos, which I don't know if this DVD is all region or not. We'll find out. I have a multi-region player, so I can play it one way or the other. Ghetto Machine, Evil Ecstasy, San Francisco, Creatures, Kathmandu Fly, Dog Shit, Crazy Go-Go, and Black Biohazard music videos on DVD. So I've been waiting a long time for this Loudness box set. I now have 4 of the 5 Masaki Yamada Loudness albums. And yeah, it looks like there's a nice book in there too. You can see that. He does remember your younger brother, Max. It's a beautiful picture. You do remember the loudness. Yeah, well, I was on a heck of a loudness kick when I ordered this at the start of COVID. We also have in this set of, we have another bubble wrap. And finally, I am finally the owner of the brand new, well, it was brand new in March, Harem Scarum album. It is called Change the World. And the Japanese bonus track, it's called No Man's Land acoustic version. I'm not a huge fan of when the Japanese bonus tracks are acoustic versions, but it does vary from track to track. This might be a brilliant one. And then I got the Japanese import of the Hollywood Monsters, featuring, as you can see on the back, there's my buddy Steph Hond, and there's Vinny Appice from Black Sabbath and Dio. I can't recall who the third guy is, and it's all in Japanese. Oh, Ronnie Robson. You can read that. That's in English. And there's a bonus track on this sucker. I Am the Best You Can't Get. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Steph is somebody that I first became acquainted with on Facebook via his work with Jim Crean. He played guitar on like 3-4 Jim Crean albums, and I'm a big fan of what Jim Crean does. Steph befriended me on Facebook. I started buying some of his music, and I'm looking forward to hearing Hollywood Monsters, Steph Hond, Vinny Appice, and Ronnie Robson. Okay, here's a good question from Sebastian Xavier Munier. Is Japanese version always the best? Why Japan? Japan manufacturing... I'm being boycotted tonight by Michelle Sarr because I trashed Bon Jovi earlier on the Sunrise Records Facebook page. I said I said that Bon Jovi was a solo project. I said that David Bryan and Tico Torres get no say in the band, and I said that Bon Jovi can't sing anymore. So Michelle Sarr is boycotting the show. Chris Sarr is not allowed to watch. I hope that's not permanent. Anyway, why are the Japanese import versions always the best? Well, they manufacture their CDs to a higher degree of quality, I guess you'd say, better materials, etc., better quality control. But they also almost always stick on bonus tracks or extras, posters, stickers, packaging of some kind. Reason being, it's actually cheaper in Japan to buy American imports. So if they want to try to sell their own domestic product in Japan, where it's much more expensive than the cheaper imports, they have to put on some kind of incentive like bonus tracks. So that's the story behind that. And Tyler, that is why every single band does Japanese versions. That's in regards to my boycott tonight. You know what? Hang on. Boycotted by the Sarr family. Ah, shit. Hey, Mom, I've been boycotted by Chris Sarr's wife because I was making fun of Bon Jovi. Oh. Okay, we have with us, about to join us, our first guest of the evening, which would be Mr. Kevin, buried on Mars. I am going to patch him in.
Hello, hello.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh, good. I like the background.
That's what Chris Sarr was saying before he got boycotted.
Oh, how come he got boycotted? What did he do?
Okay, long story short, his wife is boycotting my show because I was trashing John Bon Jovi on the Sunrise Records Facebook page.
Well, if there was a reason to get banned, I guess that's one.
I'm using this as it's a boast now. You can see in the ticker at the bottom, boycotted by the Sarr family.
I'll confess something. I've boycotted all of Bon Jovi's career. So
I will stick up for Bon Jovi's career from the New Jersey album through to These Days, which is basically 3 records. But
Okay.
Uncle Meat's always going after me for this Bon Jovi thing, and he doesn't necessarily buy into my love of Richie Sambora, who I think is the strength of the band.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will stick up for those 4 albums. And sorry, I'm just closing windows. 3 albums, sorry, and maybe we will have a go at it on the blogs at some point. Maybe I shall challenge you with a Bon Jovi review.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be up for that. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a fan. I do like that Show of Hands song from Spaceballs. It might be the connection to Spaceballs.
Raise your hands.
Okay, see, that's how much of a fan I am.
Right.
But I'd be up for that, sure.
Just going to read some...
I'm open to it.
Just going to read some comments real quick. We have Tyler Dravonis once again saying hello. Harrison Cop, the contrarian cop, reporting for Doo-Doo. We're all living on a prayer. Chris is still here, amazingly enough. Bon Jovi sang on Christmas in the Stars, Kevin. That's a good point. Hopefully you don't boycott that one.
What's Christmas in the Stars?
In the maybe Rob should leave a comment detailing this, but in the 70s, there was a disco Star Wars album.
Oh, okay.
I believe the second one was called Christmas in the Stars, and it had it wasn't all Star Wars, but John Bon Jovi was just a young kid at that time, and his older cousin, Tony Bon Jovi, worked at the studio, and John came in and sang vocals.
Well, I'm down for that then.
John basically owes his career, in my opinion, to Tony Bon Jovi, but I believe they were for a long time estranged.
Oh.
Yeah. And Harrison, John Bon Jovi sucks live, so I don't care for his band too much. And I will say John Bon Jovi sucks live now, is all I will say.
I've heard, the band used to be on the Howard Stern show a lot, and they would play older tapes from there. And anytime they were on in that in that studio setting, they always sounded good to me. Like, they didn't sound terrible or anything. So I don't know about their live show.
His voice is gone, unfortunately. So.
I haven't actually heard him do anything lately. Like I was saying, I think last week he was on the morning show, our morning show. And when they started playing the song, I kind of switched the way it went to somewhere else. So I don't even know what he sounds like.
Well, that would be John Bon Jovi basically in the studio, right? Yeah. Live, it's a whole other matter. And there's been some really, really bad tapes on YouTube. You know how YouTube is so merciless today.
Yeah.
If you have a bad gig, it's
all over the place.
Yeah. It's not like in the old days where, if Deep Purple played an off gig, word didn't get around. And if the next gig was good, then no worries.
Well, and a lot of times too, it's the recording itself that sounds bad. When you listen to it at the show, like sometimes, like a guitar solo will sound off, but that's because they're playing off of the acoustics in the room, so the recording will sound off. So,
and of course, the artist's monitors might even be an issue. They might not be able to hear themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that was Roger Daltrey would complain about that all the time. It's like the band would be so loud that he would never be able to hear himself unless he oversang, and would really have to project himself so he could hear where he was. But sometimes even that, you're just off. Outdoor settings too are notoriously bad for that because you don't get any sort of
there's no containment. The sound is not contained.
You're not getting anything back, I'm
going to read 2 comments, and then I'm going to bring on our next guest. Harrison says that Bon Jovi could just manage back in 94. I would say he was a lot better than just managing back in 94. Maybe in the 80s he was good, but I haven't heard one live song that I think is a good performance. Harsh. The keyboard player singing In These Arms is the highlight of Bon Jovi sets these days.
Wow.
Please welcome to the show, Too Loud, Too Old Music, John T. Snow, the Snowman.
No, I'll stand up for Bon Jovi.
You're a
fan,
fan,
though?
Yeah.
Even today?
Up until maybe Have a Nice Day in the mid-2000s.
That's about where I draw the line too, man.
Yeah.
Although I even admit to liking a couple of tunes on Lost Highway, the country album.
A couple songs here and there, but in general, the albums are they're tough to listen to, especially the new one.
Kevin, here's the details about that Star Wars
There we
album.
go.
Star Wars Christmas album produced by Miko, which featured such classics as R2-D2, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and What Do You Buy a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a home?
Oh, I remember that song. That sounds all vaguely familiar, so I must have heard that back in the day.
I think, well, I mean, I'm a bit older than you, but maybe John would remember that at a certain point, everybody knew somebody who accidentally got a Star Wars disco album for Christmas instead of the real one.
No, I don't. I've never even heard that one.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's, I believe, John Bon Jovi's very first vinyl, if you want to add that to your Discogs wish list.
Someday.
Someday.
I got to say, John, I love your background. That is
Since
excellent.
AC/DC was kind of the thing, I just pulled out the albums, and
It's perfect.
I don't
You know
have
what?
many. I've only got
You know
six.
what? I feel like I'm the host and I have the shittiest backdrop. But you got Kevin in like Studio A, and you've got John with like the vinyl collage that is changeable depending on the theme of the show.
Yeah.
I have sailboats, and lighthouses.
Those are cool. You're keeping it real.
I do at least have my Rick and Morty calendar, but that's about it.
Oh, you got the Eric Singer drum head behind.
Yes. You know what's really sad about that is it's autographed, and the autograph is almost completely faded.
I was about to say I can't see it anymore.
Yeah,
No, you can't. You can only see it when you like tilt it into a certain light.
Okay.
I
Well,
could
I have to
reforge
find
it,
him.
but I'd feel weird about doing that.
Just find him again and have him sign it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have it one way or the other. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
He didn't sign it for me. It was a piece of merchandise that I bought when he was playing with Alice Cooper, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so back in those days. Okay.
That was 2006.
Yeah.
He was briefly with Cooper again, I believe. I
Yeah.
think so. That's what I'm
Somewhere in
thinking.
that. Somewhere around there.
Well, guys, the reason you guys are here tonight is because we're talking new releases. And that guy right there on Two Loud
yeah,
Smoke
he's really
Music,
the expert down there. I don't even know why I'm here, but
you're here because your favorite band is going to be a major part of the show.
all right. Cool.
Actually, I want to start with your favorite band.
Okay. We can do that.
Basically, I just wanted to start by saying I wish Deke was here tonight.
Yeah.
Because this was basically Deke's idea. He when all the AC/DC rumblings began about 3 weeks ago, Deke said to me, in 2020, we need a new AC/DC album. You know, it is perfect for 2020. It's apolitical. It's upbeat. It is AC/DC is one of those bands that's meant to drive your blues away. You know, like on the last album, there was Rock the Blues Away. They're just that kind of band. And I guess this album was done before COVID, but they played a couple rehearsals and then COVID hit and had to split. That's my understanding of the story. But even AC/DC have acknowledged that this is the year that they're needed. It's just ironic. And I just wanted to kind of go around and talk about what this album means to you guys, starting with Kev.
Well, I won't say it came completely out of left field because there was those photos that did pop up a couple of years ago. And I actually did a couple of posts on those back in 2018 on buriedonmars.com. I don't even know why it says WordPress on here. I got to fix that because I'm just.
You recently upgraded, didn't you? I noticed that.
Yeah.
There was a sale. They solicit you once in a while and say, hey, you know, if you sign up now, you get 50% off. So.
Sorry, 1 second, okay?
Sure. Yep.
No, I did the same thing. I got rid of the WordPress.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Sure. We can fill.
Yep.
I can change my
You should be able to go in and just do it.
edit name. There it is. There, because I don't want to steer people to the wrong website. There you go. There's the correct website. Yeah, it was they solicit you once in a while and they say, hey, if you sign up now, you can get it for 50% off. So it was that and the website name for was it $60 Canadian for a full year.
Okay.
So I thought I'd try it for the full year and see where it goes, you know.
Yeah, they keep soliciting me to go up another level to like the business level, and I'm
Yeah.
no, I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Well, and I threw, there's ads on the website now, and so far I'm up to 11 cents. So I had figured
Sorry,
out
guys.
that in 25 years I'll make $100 and get a check from.
That's about right. Yeah, it takes me about 6 months.
6 months. Yeah. See, you got way more than I do. I'm just at 11 cents right now.
That'll
What I
get
miss?
bigger.
We were just talking about WordPress and changing that. That was it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
half your viewers just left.
Yeah. Sorry.
Man, I can't wait to watch the rerun of this.
No, so AC/DC's new
AC/DC,
album. Right. So it didn't come completely out of left field because those photos came out in 2018. So I knew something was up. I knew they were working on something. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a full album, if it was going to be a greatest hits, and what they were working on were the new songs to add to the greatest hits, or maybe a compilation, or maybe they were doing a soundtrack again, like they did for Iron Man 2. Didn't know. But when the full album came out, was announced, that was even better than those other possibilities. So I knew it was a possibility, but I try not to get my hopes up in that. And yeah, it was like that week. It's that started when they announced it and all that. I got really excited because it was really. I just needed something to look forward to. It's just been like, even now, here we go. I'm in York region, and
you're back in stage 2.
Yeah, starting on Monday, we're going back. They didn't want to do it on before the weekend because the restaurants have their freezers full and all that. So now they're encouraging everybody to go to the restaurants and order out and that, so they can empty out their freezers, and they're going back to no eating in and all that stuff. So it's just been that all year, and so this was finally something to look forward to. And then Eddie Van Halen died, which was a bummer. But now it's I'm not completely over it, but I'm ready to focus back on AC/DC. So it's just something to look forward to. It's so nice to have something, your favorite band coming back. And
I'm just going to ask everybody
back.
to share this video. Chris Sarr says that there's only 3 people watching.
Oh, geez.
So let's get some shares going, people. Help us, please. Here, I'm going to do a share.
Absolutely. I'll
see if I can go on and do that.
All right, here we go.
I can't do 2 things at once, so I can't talk and do the sharing at the same time.
I've done the sharing. There we go. Come on, people. Where are you? It's Friday night. There's nothing else to do. You're in stage 2 lockdown in York region.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, but on the other hand, I kind of feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's really confusing. They on one side they're saying, okay, we got to go back on lockdown. Restaurants have to close and all that. Oh, but Halloween, that's still on. It's well, which is it? Pick one or the other. Are we in a lockdown or are we not?
Yeah.
I will tell you one thing that's on. One thing that is on is November 13th. Power Up. That's on.
Yes, that's right. So is that the date? That's when it's coming out, November 13th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got some new releases we're going to be talking about here. I know John does, but there's this one here on the 13th, and then another big one the following week on the 20th, which we'll get to.
What that is.
The November 20th. Yeah, okay. I got a few written down for that too.
Well, John, how about you? I mean, you're obviously in a whole other country, but you've been dealing with the same crap. What does AC/DC mean to you in 2020?
Well, I mean, I'm not as fanatical as Kevin.
Nobody is.
But for me, it's, it hasn't been a great year for new releases. We just haven't had a lot of good music.
Right.
To get them to come back, and the 4 guys that are in it. The Back in Black guys.
Yeah, the core.
To have all of them back. That's kind of what makes it special for me. That's when I got into them. Was right around Back in Black, even though I really liked the Bon Scott era. Just having that 4 guys back together again, doing an album, and the new song. I mean, it's AC/DC, and so I'm just looking forward to that. So, plus, I can't wait to get the Lightbox.
So you did order it, Kevin? You ordered it?
Yeah, I ordered the Lightbox and the vinyl. It's
pretty. Oh, you did the vinyl too?
Yeah, I'm a sad man.
So I'm really glad my mom is watching, because what she gets to see right now is peer pressure. Because both of these guys sharing the screen with me right now bought the light box, I guess I have to as well. maybe Kevin, did you order it off the official AC/DC or did you find it cheaper?
No. Well, I ordered it. I'm an Amazon Prime member, so I ordered it through Amazon just for the free shipping. If I would have ordered it through their website, it would have cost $80. Yeah, and that's with the cheapest shipping option, and it would have taken forever to get here. Whereas Amazon, it was $55 free shipping. So it was just a no-brainer to order it from Amazon.
Where'd you get it, John?
Amazon.
Oh,
but they don't necessarily deliver it on the day, on release day.
Correct.
Sometimes I got lucky the last album I ordered, but the 2 albums before that, they came a week later.
Yeah, I find it depends. If you get it, if you pre-order it early enough, it might get to you on the day of.
Right.
But if you're like the day before, yeah, I'm going to pre-order that and get that. You're not going to get it the next day.
Well, I ordered Ace Frehley's new one the day it was on. It came 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
I was not happy.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends, you know. Yeah. I remember, I know it's a video game, but I remember when there was a Batman video game that came out called Arkham Asylum, and it had like all this big hoopla about it. And I went to the store and bought it the day it came out, and my friend pre-ordered it on Amazon, and I played it for 2 weeks and finished it, and he still had not gotten his copy yet. So,
for Kevin, is that a Newman U45?
What's a Newman?
He's talking about your microphone, I think.
Oh, no, this is a Apex. I actually looked it up because somebody was asking me on Facebook. So I have to move the thing. It's an Apex 435B. So there you go. Okay,
there you go. Sebastian's a gearhead. He's the guy. If you guys saw my geek video, remember the geek interview video that I posted?
Oh, yes.
You should see his setup. I won't go into details, but it's like he's got a recording studio in his living room. Essentially,
yeah. I watched that video. That was on YouTube. He was behind the soundboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rosanna says hello from Brazil. My mom doesn't approve of the peer pressure. She orders books, and they usually arrive on the release date. But I think stuff like the Ace Frehley album, that's a high demand item in short supply.
Yeah, and like that's gonna be tough. Yeah.
Harrison digs your Arkham Asylum.
The vinyl on that one is beautiful. So.
Sebastian compliments how great you sound.
Oh, thank you. It's going through a little sound mixer too that I have. So everything I bought was like for my guitar hobby, and then the podcasting thing just kind of took over. Like it's supposed to be for recording myself playing guitar, but it ends up being for this all the time.
So once again, we have Studio A over here, and we have, the beautiful setup here. And here I have lighthouses.
You're keeping it real, man.
Keeping it real.
That's,
yeah, I was actually thinking about just getting a blanket and putting a blanket behind. I don't know what
a lot of people do that. They put a green blanket behind them, and then they'll just superimpose things behind them. There was one guy on Zoom that was doing that for his office thing, and he superimposed the office behind him, so it looked like he was at the office.
Brilliant.
Oh,
but he was at home.
On one today, the guy, his backdrop was a fighter jet. It looked like he was in the cockpit of a fighter jet, and there were 2 of them flying behind him.
That's cool. That's cool. I would put myself in like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
There you go. Yeah.
Sebastian says hello to Brazil. I got a track listing here for the AC/DC album, and the song titles are interesting, but not as interesting as like the leaked. Remember the leaked track? I wish I'd printed that out because it had a song in there called "Rock Your Balls Off," which I think there were a few songs there that kind of made us think, well, this is a fake track list. But "Rock Your Balls Off" was the one that I said I wish that was real. Because if there's any band that's going to do a song called "Rock Your Balls Off," it would be AC/DC.
Yeah.
Here's the track.
Maybe list. Accept. They might do.
Maybe Accept.
Yeah.
Here's the track list, and the first 2 are they're grunge titles. They're like 90s grunge titles. Realize, Rejection.
Yeah. Those are downer titles for sure.
Then we got Shot in the Dark, which we both know.
Yep.
We all 3 know. And then we have the Zeppelin song, "Through the Mists of Time."
I know that one's a weird title.
It totally sounds like something like from In Through the Outdoor.
Yeah, it's totally a Led Zeppelin title.
Yep.
Kick You When You're Down. That sounds AC/DC.
Yep.
Witch's Spell. That almost sounds more Sabbathy or maybe purple. Very purple, maybe. Demon's Eye, Witch's Spell.
Yeah.
Speaking of purple, number 7, Demon Fire. Although that works for AC/DC. Wild Reputation. No Man's Land. Systems Down. Money Shot. And Code Red. I think Money Shot sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, I heard he got some grief. Angus got some grief for that one because apparently he didn't know what the money shot is in those stag films, shall we say?
I don't know either, so I thought it was just a cool sounding title.
Is this a PG rated podcast or is this a?
Yeah, let's try to keep it PG. My mom is watching.
I'm just saying that he got some grief for it. That's all.
I'm sure.
I'm not saying anything.
It's dirty, is what you're saying?
Yes.
There's something about it in stag films. I don't fully understand it myself. I went through the Bible to try to find it, and it wasn't in there. So
I'm not even. People are gonna think I'm the dumbest fucker in the world. What's a stag film? Is it like a stag party? Film of a stag party?
It's a very old term for a porn film.
A blue movie.
Yes. There you go. I should have used that one. Blue movie.
Harrison says that he can see whoosh in the background. Yes, that's about the only cool thing that I have in the background.
Yeah.
Fave lyric from Weezer Blue album. Must have been something I quoted or somebody said. Dungeons. Okay, that's a long comment, but he's got a lot of cool shit in his place. The new NVIDIA video cards, you can do it with them for free. This is tech stuff. I don't freaking know. He's got posters on the wall of his favorite rock group, Kiss, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. That sounds like a lyric. I think that's a lyric. I don't think Sebastian's favorite rock group is Kiss.
Why not?
I know Sebastian. We've just never talked about Kiss. Like, it's just never really happened. Sebastian's a huge Trekkie. I want to get him on eventually and do a Trek episode. He actually has on his arm or on his back, actually, the emblem of the Klingon Empire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, I think Sebastian's quoting the Weezer song.
He must be. Anyway, so we got an interesting track list, a bit of a teaser, 12 songs, which I think is the first time since maybe Razor's Edge that we've got 12.
No, Black Ice was
Black 15. Ice is a long album.
Yeah, it was about 15.
Yep, you're right. Okay. And speaking of Black Ice, apparently these songs are all from the Black Ice writing sessions, which was a very prolific period for Malcolm Young.
Yeah. Oh, that's I wanted to mention that about the titles and lyrics. This is probably or possibly the first time we'll get lyrics and song titles completely unfiltered from Angus, because normally he would work with Malcolm on those. And as far as I know, Malcolm's contribution to this album is the riffs. I don't know if he came up with song ideas or song titles and that. So this might be just pure Angus, which would be interesting.
I was under the impression that Rock or Bust was also very much pure Angus, but that might just be my impression.
Well, I thought that Malcolm had worked on the album. The only thing he didn't do was actually play on it. So I don't know how far he got in the writing process with it, but you could be right. This could be pure Angus part 2. I don't know.
Chris Sarr has an excellent question. He commented to me, his problem with my review of Shot in the Dark by AC/DC was that I gave it 5 out of 5 because it's new AC/DC and who gives a crap, right? So he wants to know each of your guys an honest out of 5 rating for Shot in the Dark.
Who's going to go first?
Whoever has an answer.
John, you go first.
I'll go first. You know, it's nothing spectacular. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it's a solid track, and they always come out the first track. It's a solid track. So I mean, it's a 3 out of 5. I think the album is going to give us something better.
Yes, I agree.
But it's not going to race up the charts and start new ground or anything. But.
You know, I felt the same way. And I mentioned this in my review. The first single is rarely the best track. It hasn't been.
Right.
Razor's Edge is the last time that I really remember a first single that was like, yes! Like, I didn't care for the next first single was What was the one off Ballbreaker? It was
Hard as Rock.
Hard as a Rock. Like, it's okay, it's memorable, but it's certainly not my mixtape song. And Stiff Upper Lip, they put out
Stiff Upper Lip.
Yeah, and there was another song that I heard on the radio a lot too, and I didn't think either of those were the best tracks.
There's Satellite Blues.
Yeah.
Safe in New York City.
They've got way better tracks on that album, and same with Black Ice, and same with Rock or Bust. I didn't think they led off with the best tracks at all.
Yeah, it's possible for this one. For my rating, I agree mostly with John. It isn't the greatest, but like you said, like, who cares? I would say it's a little above average for them. I would give it like a 3.5, honestly. But for the timing, I would give it a 5.5, like you did. If that is a cop-out answer.
Yeah, I wanted to go with a cop-out answer because I just wanted to cut AC/DC some slack, really.
I mean, really,
so there you go, Chris. Yeah. You got a 3.5, you got a 3, which rounds it to 3.25. There's the answer. It's perfect 3.25 out of 5.
It didn't stop me from buying it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to stop any of us from buying it. It's like, really, they could have put out the worst Drek, and I'm sure all three of us would still be buying this album. Maybe not the light box, but all three of us
maybe just
be buying it.
Yeah, you're right. And like you said, like the better songs there's gonna be better songs on the album, and even if it is just an okay AC/DC album, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm completely fine with it. I feel like for the first time in my life, I feel like a Star Wars fan, where you just want more Star Wars. You don't really care that they're not as good as the stuff that came out in the early 80s. You understand that that's over with, and that you just want more, So I finally identify with the Star Wars fans out there.
I'm just going to read a couple more comments. AC/DC is Becky's favorite of all time. Becky is the only woman who has ever been to Sausage Fest.
Whoa. And Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Those are my two favorite.
And Chris Sarr is sort of on Kevin's side with the 3.5, although it's splitting hairs. I agree with both of you guys. Like, I went with the cop-out answer too. And I won't do that when it comes down to reviewing the album for real. I will do something honest when it comes down to reviewing the album. But I think every once in a while a band deserves to be cut a little bit of slack, and this is one of those times. Like, let's just be grateful that this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, you think of it's also everything that they've been through over the past few years.
Yes.
Drummer gets arrested for
attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
No, attempting to like procure a murder.
Conspire for murder. Yeah, it was like he was going to pay someone to murder someone. He's back.
But who hasn't done that, Kevin? Who hasn't done that?
I mean, thank goodness there was no social media 20 years ago. I was an angry man back then.
I wanted to echo something that you said earlier regarding this build-up to where we are now. I was really entranced by the artwork that they started releasing, with the circuit boards and the switches.
Yeah.
And immediately I was under the impression we were going to get a new album, because I didn't think you would put that much effort into this incredible artwork that we were seeing unless it was a serious new product, not a greatest hits.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to an interview with I can't remember his name, but Deke forwarded me the podcast. It was a fan site that actually interviewed the engineer for the album, not the producer, but the engineer guy. And he was talking about how when all those photos came out in 2018, how they were all really disappointed that happened, because they really wanted to keep this, Angus in particular, really wanted to keep this tight knit and wanted the album to come out of left field. Like, he wanted everybody to be shocked, not only that they were coming out with a new album, but that it was the band was back together, because they were really, because Cliff Williams also retired. And Brian Johnson had hearing problems. Apparently they've got some new technology or something like that where he can hear himself now.
Yes.
So he's going to be able to sing and tour, possibly. And then his brother passed away, and there was a bunch of songs that were on the cutting room floor that he wanted to put together and get out there.
And Malcolm wanted him to do that. Yeah.
And, look at, we're probably going to talk about it a little later, but Tom Petty has a new album coming out. Posthumously, I can never say that word right. After he passed away, posthumously.
That's how I say it.
And it's all material that was left over from Wildflowers, and that's coming out, and it's a good thing. Good thing. Yeah. Well,
we'll get there.
I ordered it from Amazon, so I don't have it yet.
You'll get it in a month.
Yeah, maybe. But it's a good thing he recorded all of that stuff, right? Whereas Malcolm didn't really have that opportunity to record all of that stuff yet. So his brother is doing it for him. So there's just so many really good stories and really feel good stuff about this. Like, I really don't care if it's a terrible album. I'm just all for this. I'm all in. I'm excited.
And hopefully we'll get a tour.
Yes.
Eventually. I saw who was it? Somebody it was the Priest Aussie tour. They rescheduled it for 2022.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, it's good for me because hopefully I can get some tickets.
If there's any venues left in 2022.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't want to think about it. You know what? Let's not go there. Does anybody want to talk anything else about this AC/DC before I bring up the next band?
No.
I don't think so. I think
we can come back to it if anybody feels like it.
Sure we will.
And John, we will get to your massive, awesome list of stuff as well.
No,
but I just wanted to talk about quickly two bands, Maiden and Sloan. Week after AC/DC, we get the brand new live Iron Maiden called Knights of the Dead, Legacy of the Beast, live in Mexico City. It was recorded in September of last year at 3 shows. So, that's always a nice setup. They can pick the best tracks from each of the 3 shows. The sound will be consistent from track to track, being that it was the same audio setup. I expect a blazing album out of Iron Maiden. The interesting thing about the Legacy of the Beast tour, we just got a Maiden live album like not that long ago. The Book of Souls live. Remember that?
Yep.
And this is a completely different set list because it's a completely different tour, the Legacy of the Beast tour. So we get 15 tracks, Aces High, Where Eagles Dare, 2 Minutes to Midnight, right there. That is like the Live After Death trio, Then we get a really obscure one. We get the Klansmen, which Harrison is going to go apeshit over because that's originally a Blaze Bayley song that they very rarely play. I think the last time they played it was like on the Dance of Death tour. However long ago that was, like 2005. Then we get the Trooper and Revelations, 2 more classics. And I'm so happy they brought back For the Greater Good of God. This is going to be the very first official live release of the Greater Good of God, which is an epic track from the Matter of Life and Death album, which is 5 out of 5, buddy. 5 out of 5. Then we get the Wicker Man from Brave New World. Sign of the Cross, another Blaze Bayley song. Harrison's already going apeshit. Flight of Icarus, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, Evil That Men Do, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and Run to the Fucking Hills. Like, that's just ending it on the highest of high notes. They're giving you so much good stuff here. It's interesting that there's nothing from the last 2 Maiden studio albums, but that's what they do. They shake it up so that you do not get the same show when you go buy your next ticket. And I respect that. They're giving us a different set than we would have got with the Book of Souls live. Now, everybody's going to say Bruce Dickinson can't sing as good as he used to. And I will admit, Deke sent us, or may have not sent us. I don't know. We don't want to get Deke in trouble. But Deke has Aces High. He got it when he pre-ordered the album off iTunes.
Yeah.
And Bruce struggles. But I don't give a fuck.
I think like we were saying before, it's over singing. He sounds like he's over singing a little bit, but like you said,
which you have to. It's Iron Maiden, like you have to.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and it is an outdoor event too, right? So it might be again that he just could not hear himself, and it was only the first track. I remember not too long ago, Rush put out. I can't remember which one. I think it was the Clock. There was something with clocks in it.
Clockwork Angels Live, maybe.
That's the one. And Geddy Lee comes out and he just does not. He sounds off. And I think it was, again, because the acoustics. Because then by song 2, it sounded much better. And he sounded way in. So sometimes that first song, they're just trying to work out all the. And even though they recorded 3 shows, It might have been the same thing for all 3 shows.
Or this could have been the third night, and his voice could be a little worn, but it was the version that had the best vibe, maybe.
Right. Or the rest of the band might have been on. And
if you look at an album like Deep Purple's Made in Japan, that was recorded at 3 shows. And now you can get every track from every show in that massive box set. But at the time, you didn't know if that was, it could have been the first night, could have been the third night.
Yep.
Harrison is going apeshit, so I'm going to read some of his comments. Sebastian comments that your SG is beautiful.
Thank you. That is a classic. SG classic.
I honestly wish we got any other song from A Matter of Life and Death. This fucking guy, he's never happy. Now, I will admit that Benjamin Brieg and Brighter Than a Thousand Suns are both great songs, but I'm very happy with For the Greater Good of God. Very happy. No bitching and complaining from me. Listening to Aces High on YouTube, frankly, there were times that I lost myself in the song. I didn't even notice that Bruce was struggling a bit. He just sounded awesome. And I love that attitude. This time I'm on board with Harrison. Bruce even gets better as the song. That's true. Bruce gets better.
Yeah, so I imagine song 2.
Into it.
Yeah, I imagine song 2 is going to be so much better. So.
Yeah, then his voice is fully warmed up and he's ready to blast. Song 2, Where Eagles Dare. That's going to be awesome. Anyway, so yeah, that's Maiden. Very excited about that. Again, this is something we needed in 2020. The other one I wanted to talk about was Sloan, which I didn't realize is actually already out. Thankfully, our good friend Aaron, that keeps me alive, already reviewed it glowingly. So go check out. I was hoping he'd be here, but maybe not.
Did he review that? Was that today that came out?
No. Let me see here when he reviewed it. Actually, I'm going to read from his review.
Sure. I missed it, so I got to check that out.
Yeah, so this has actually been out for a little bit. He posted October 4, which is probably the day after release. I hope this means Sloan are in the studio recording. But this is what he has to say about it. It's a song about people who won't listen and won't shut up, who are vain and can't handle criticism, who talk about things for which they aren't qualified and make promises they can't keep. And Chris Murphy, the lead singer of Sloan, says, I wanted to write a song about the importance of listening, whether to the experts or to the disenfranchised. And the song is called Silence Trumps Lies. So, unlike AC/DC,
right in there.
Maiden, we are getting a political statement from Sloan, which is very rare from that band. I'm not sure, John. I don't think you are super familiar with Sloan.
I am not.
I know Kevin is by osmosis at the very least.
Yeah,
because they're omnipotent in this country.
Yeah, no, they're one of my favorite bands. I actually have tickets to go see them, and every 3 months I get a email from them saying, "Oh, it's been pushed back another 3 months." So
I want my money back.
No, I'm waiting. My money's invested. I want to see that show.
That's all I got for the new releases I personally wanted to discuss. So why don't we throw it to John and talk about some of the stuff that he's researched?
Well, I can tell you what came out today.
Okay, let's start there.
Here.
I know there's one there that I'm curious about.
Yeah. First one I have up is the Struts. So 70s glam band. Well, they're not from the 70s, but modern band. They do that 70s glam thing. And what I like about this album and what I want from this album is he has some great guests. They've got Robbie Williams on one song, Tom Morello on a song called Wild Child. And that song it kicks ass. The guitar on that is awesome. It has Albert Hammond Jr., which I'm not that familiar with. But the big one is it has Joe Elliott and Phil Collin from Def Leppard on one song. And then the other cool thing is they do a Kiss cover for, oh shoot, I just forgot which one it was. Do You Love Me? So they do a good job.
It's like my least favorite song, and it's already been covered. And
But you were saying, John, that it's not there's not a physical copy of it yet, or there wasn't a vinyl at least.
There's not a vinyl,
which
baffles my mind. They have on their website you can get the CD and you can get a cassette.
A cassette.
Cassette.
I hate cassettes.
But they haven't done the vinyl yet, which is upsetting because I do have their other 2 albums on vinyl.
Yeah.
But I want it on vinyl. I want it on vinyl because it's got Def Leppard, and that will slide nice into my Def Leppard collection.
Yeah.
Question for you, John.
Yeah.
Did Phil Collen wear a shirt?
I don't know. I didn't check the video yet.
Harrison corrects me. There is some official stuff from the Matter Life and Death tour. It's on what?
Benjamin Brieg?
What is Download 2020? That's not an album. That's not, I don't consider YouTube stuff to really be. Maybe that's a topic for another day where we talk about collecting and being completionist and whether a random track released on YouTube counts as something official. We're not going to talk about that today, but I would like to talk about that one day.
Yeah.
But he does say it's the most awesome performance of the song Iron Maiden from that concert. CD superior, cassette inferior.
But I'm telling you, that thing is coming back because now I go into the record stores.
Yeah.
And the spot where they have cassettes, it keeps growing.
Yeah. And
they have new ones for sale from like new bands today. They're putting them out on cassette because it's the trendy thing to do now.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking dumped all my cassettes, you know?
Oh, I don't have any. I don't even have a cassette player, so I wouldn't want to know what to do with one.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something before we get to the next band. I was talking about this with Boppin. You guys know Boppin from the blogs. Boppin's blog. He was talking about how the store that I used to work at now sells used cassettes, which I'm very amused by because back in the day we refused to sell used cassettes. They were considered worthless, and there was no way to check them really for quality. Like you don't know if it's going to sound good by looking at it. With a CD, you can be 99% sure. Right. So we balked at carrying cassettes, and I'm a little surprised that my old store is now doing it. But then again, that's. As John said, things have changed.
Yeah.
I think it's just like you're saying, it's just the trendy thing to do. I don't think there's any.
It's going to put somebody's kids through college.
Well, they don't go for much.
No, they don't. They
like
shouldn't either.
$1, $2.50, $3 is usually what I've seen. $5 for some rarer stuff. Oh, you know, but most of the stuff's pretty cheap. And
Harrison has one cassette for sentimental reasons, good reason, and his CD player has a tape deck built in, which I have one of those at work. It's a great little CD player tape deck.
Yeah, I still have my Weird Al cassettes because that's what I had when I was a kid. You know, some of them are like even worse, is totally worn out. I played it so much, so I do have some, but I mean, to like, okay, a new album's coming out. Am I going to get it on CD, vinyl, or cassette? I mean, cassette wouldn't even be in. I'm not even going to consider it.
I know.
I struggle between the CD and the vinyl. I want the vinyl,
right?
But when the CD has an extra disc of rare stuff or something, then it's either buy both or just do one. Yeah.
Or sometimes the price of the CD is like $12 and the vinyl is $40, and it's like, you know.
You know, I know Boppin has said in the past that you can, with the right equipment, you can make a cassette sound almost as good as a CD. I've done some research. There's a cassette deck out there called a Nakamichi Dragon. It costs about $4,000 on eBay. Anybody feels like, subsidizing this show, I will be happy to review a Nakamichi Dragon. I would love to review a Nakamichi Dragon. I recommend that anybody who's curious about it, Google a Nakamichi Dragon and see what is considered to be the best tape deck ever made.
Well, you could spend $4,000 on the cassette deck to make your cassette sound like CDs, or you can go to Value Village and pick up a CD player for $10, and you're good to go.
Or I can pick up a whole bunch of cassettes for dirt.
Yeah. Cassettes are nothing.
I don't really want to say anything regarding the Struts because I'm not a fan.
I was excited about that one.
I will say that our mutual blog friend Jumpa Wilmanius is a huge Struts fan. And
he's got taste. So.
Yeah, he does. I love he's got great taste.
Oh, I love I like reading his blog. So.
Yeah, he's great. Maybe I'll get him on one day. What's next, John? What else is in your fans?
I think it's the release of the day. It's Tommy Lee's solo album.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
Yes!
I mean, let me tell you how good that is. I haven't had, I almost said the bad word. I haven't taken a dump that was that good. Let me tell you. It was just a pile of crap. There's no way on there that you know it's Tommy Lee. It's all electronic. It's all hip hop. Great, you're doing something different, but it's just sucks so bad.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did you hear it?
Oh, I have Apple Music.
Oh, okay. So it's not
I
like
stream stuff like that. I stream it before I even think about buying it.
Okay. I was
But
gonna
like AC/DC, Kiss, Def Leppard, those kind of bands I just buy. But other things I will stream them first. And
well,
see.
I just played like maybe 30 seconds of it from on your blog. You posted the YouTube video of it, and it was incomprehensible. It was
just, yeah.
It was something. It's something like
the room. I knew it was bad. Yeah.
It's something that you'd be embarrassed to ask people money for. You know, like that's something you should just put out for free.
Yeah. You know, I read some quotes by Tommy Lee, and I know he's always been like, "Oh, you know, I like to keep things fresh with the hip hop," and it's like, dude, you have a talent for drumming.
Yeah.
Don't do the hip hop, man. Like I'm sorry, I like Tommy Lee as a drummer. I know he's not like a Neil Peart. I don't.
No, but
his drumming on Motley '94 is bloody great, man.
Yeah,
it's perfect for Motley.
I'm not a Motley Crue fan, but definitely Tommy Lee was the talent in that band, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm going to tell you something, Kevin.
I think Nick was.
In the year 2000, when they put out that New Tattoo album, the only one without Tommy Lee,
yes,
had the late Randy Castillo from Ozzy's band on drums.
Okay,
it's one of their worst albums, and I swear to God, Tommy came out with his Methods of Mayhem album.
Mm-hmm.
And it had riffs on it that sounded more like Motley Crue than anything on the Motley Crue New Tattoo album.
Yeah.
I'm going to get flamed all to hell for saying this, but I don't care. I don't like New Tattoo. I think it's junk. I think it's a counterfeit Motley Crue album. It doesn't sound good, and I don't think any of those songs are particularly memorable. Shoot me.
No, it's perfectly fine. But I don't know. That Tommy Lee album was... It sealed. I didn't actually make it the whole way through.
Can we count on a Too Loud, Too Old music review?
If I did, it would be another picture of Bear taking a dump, and that would be the review.
Okay, can I make a request?
Yeah.
Do you drink?
Do I drink? No.
Okay, I was going to say, could you do a drunk review like Aaron used to do? That would have been awesome. Okay, I got a better idea then. Can you do a dead tired and I would just want to go to bed review of Tommy Lee?
I don't know.
I kind of want to see listen, I know you take requests. I've seen it. I know this isn't necessarily a scheduled request, but I am formally requesting a Too Loud, Too Old Tommy Lee review. Formal request logged.
Yeah, it's not on my You Pick It comes out tomorrow. And
it's not on it.
Kevin, I'm getting stonewalled by this guy.
I should switch it though, because the new release that's on that list is the Struts. And I think I'm going to review that one anyway, so I need to flip it.
Review that anyway. You have to.
Yeah. So
before we get to the next band, I'm just going to read some comments. Apparently, Mac cassette players are up there too. I'm assuming for the computer. If anybody out there knows a local Kitchener-Waterloo service that puts new belts in the tape deck, I need new belts in my tape deck. Jane's Affliction says, "Hey." Harrison says, "Careful, Mr. Sinister. When you give it out for free, we might get another one of those U2 albums on every phone fiasco again." And I can't remember. Oh, he's going to do a review of Tommy Lee. That's great.
A drunk one, I believe.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We can talk Aaron into it. I love his drunk reviews, man. He's great. Aaron I miss him, man. Why isn't he here tonight?
Yeah, where is he?
I don't know. He said he might be free, so I sent him the invite. Maybe we'll see him.
All right.
Okay, John. So who do we have after Tommy?
The other big release worth mentioning today is the Tom Petty.
Yes.
Wildflower. So we've kind of chatted on that one. That's a heck of a set.
Copy.
I got it pre-ordered. I'm waiting.
I think Wildflowers was a great album, so I'm intrigued about the bonus material.
Yeah, I've gotten through about half of it so far.
Oh, you're working from home right now, right?
I am, so it's music all day long.
You can.
Yeah. and I can have it as loud as I want up to us. Well, the kids were out working from virtual today, so they were here. So I couldn't have it too loud. But, I was telling them if they're too loud, they're too old.
That's the name of the game, my friend. Name of the game.
So have you got to the second disc? Like, is it?
Yeah, the second disc is it's. I haven't come across a bad song.
Awesome.
Wow.
And I'm only through the 2 discs.
So what happened is that they spent a year and a half making the album, and they had a double album ready to go. 25. And the label said, no, we want you to put out a single because we know a single will sell a hell of a lot more copies than a double. So he had to gut his original double album. And he always wanted to put out the double album, and so they're doing it now.
Yeah,
that's cool.
What did you tell me earlier this morning? You mentioned something that you had heard about that album. The fact that it's Kevin, that it was a Tom Petty album.
Oh, right, yeah. So in that video that was on John's website, go check it out. Too loud, too old music.com. I have dyslexia. I have dyslexia, so it takes.
Old, hey.
Go check out that blog. But yeah, in that video, he turns to the band and he says, "Hey guys, this is like the best record we have ever made." But it's not a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers album. It's just a Tom Petty album, which he would. So why wouldn't he put their name on it if it was the best album that they made together?
And I read some more on that.
Play on it? The Heartbreakers play on it, but it's not credited.
He would do that. Yeah, he would do, like, all of his albums was Tom Petty, and he would have like Mike Campbell.
Campbell was on everything.
Everything.
Yeah, he was on Moon Fever, which is also a Tom Petty solo.
Right. Yeah, but every once in a while he would put out a Tom Petty only album, and they would vary in quality. Like you had Full Moon Fever and Wildflowers, which were great, and then Highway Companion, which wasn't the greatest. I have no idea why he would do that. Like when Bruce Springsteen would do it, he would like do it. But anyways, you got the answer. So why am I speculating?
Why he did it for this album in particular? Rick Rubin was the producer, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he and Rick wanted to try different things, bring in other musicians and things like that weren't just the Heartbreakers. Okay. So the albums that are just the Heartbreakers on it, that's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But when he wants to venture out and try different things, that's Tom Petty. And that's kind of the reason why that one is not a Heartbreaker album.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's not many songs on there without the Heartbreakers on it. So
maybe on the 10 that got left off there are. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So, how many discs in that Petty set?
There's
4. I think there's a 2-disc version and a 4-disc version.
Right. They're always.
Yeah. But the 4.
Yeah, there's a live version.
Yep.
There's a live album on there. There's the 10 songs that were left off is disc 2. Disc 3 is the live. And I think disc 4 is a bunch of rare mixes and rare tracks from that. Demos and probably things like that.
Trying to think of what other band just announced like a new deluxe box set just like today. And yeah, there was a 7-record set versus a 3-record set versus, this, that, and the other thing. You can tailor it to your needs basically now.
You tailor it to your wallet.
Yeah. It's actually not a bad thing. I don't think. I think it's good. Like, so you can choose, like they give the customer more options. I don't think it's terrible.
As long as the quantities of produced of the product are sufficient that you can get it and he can get it,
right?
I can get it without one of us having to pay the late tax.
Right.
Yeah,
we talked about that before. Harrison, he's a contrarian. He's not. And not the first time a record label butchered a double album. ELO's Secret Messages suffered a similar fate. And don't forget, Frank Zappa's Leather was supposed to be 4 records. Steve Ferrone wasn't in the Heartbreakers yet. There you go. Actually, John, is that all the releases that we have for today that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, all the other ones I don't really care about.
There's one other that I forgot to write down that actually just came out today, and this probably wouldn't have been on your radar, but it's the brand new Gord Downie.
Yeah, I know who he is, but I don't remember seeing that in any of the lists.
Of course, the album has just escaped me. But interestingly enough, it's also a double. They decided to release the full-on band disc, and then a second disc of the stripped-down mix of just acoustic guitar and Gord Downie.
Oh, nice.
And I guess, well, he knew he had terminal brain cancer, and he was very prolific towards the end of his life. He did that last Tragically Hip album, Man Machine Poem, which was brilliant. It's a great album. What a note to go out on. Then he did Secret Path, the Charlie Wenjack story. I believe there was another Downie solo album somewhere in the mix there. And now this final album that he recorded just at the tail end of his life. And I guess the songs just poured out of him. He worked with his brother, I believe his name is Patrick, on this final album. And it's just, I feel very grateful that Gord Downie was so dedicated to art and his own craft that we do get this last album out of him. I haven't heard a note, but I've heard great reviews. And it's hard to say how the tone of like that final Gord Downie album will hit me, given the context of 2020, which is not the context in which it was recorded.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing it. That's out today. But Alice in Chains is the band I'm thinking of. Correct? No, it's not. There's another one.
Oh yeah, but Alice in Chains is on my list.
Yeah, the facelift reissue, which
it's disappointing.
No bonus music, am I right?
None whatsoever.
Okay, I don't need it then.
Or at least not that I can see. I mean, it comes in a nice little box and a package. You get a little book and some pictures, but give me some demos, give me something.
Gotta be something. Well, there's more they could have put on there. There's the Man in the Box EP, which preceded Facelift, and single B-sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great album.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind actually having the vinyl because I don't have the vinyl.
Yeah, when it came out, vinyl was on its way out.
Yeah. That vinyl is pretty expensive, I think. So if they're reissuing it, I'll take a newer one. I'm not that picky. I don't want to pay the late tax on that one.
I think I'm going to probably end up paying the late tax on that AC/DC light box, but that's neither here nor there.
I think it's still $55 on thing, but I don't know how much it's going to be worth it, to be honest. I mean, it's just the box that lights up, and it's just the regular CD. There's nothing extra on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm there with you, but I was fine. I was like, I might as well get that because the vinyl was, you bought both, so. I was looking at the price difference. It was $35 for the vinyl, and then $48. This is US dollars, so $48 for this box, the CD box that lights up. And I just thought, I'll pay the extra $15 and then just get that.
Yeah, there is something going on with that AC/DC vinyl because I was able to lock it in for $27 to pre-order it, and right now on Amazon.ca, I believe it's $45.
Whoa.
Yeah, it jumped up to pre-order it, which is very odd for them to do.
Pardon me. I just wanted to say, in regards to Amazon pre-orders, I just scored the forthcoming Thin Lizzy box set. I'm just clicking my link now so I can tell you the title of the Thin Lizzy box set.
Rock Legends.
Rock Legends. Yeah. 6 CDs, 99 tracks, 74 of which are unreleased. $135 Canadian, which is, as far as I'm concerned, dirt cheap.
How much?
135 Canadian.
Yeah, that
US $100.
$178, and that's with the 6 CDs and 1 DVD.
No, that's not right. No, American price would be cheaper.
It's $178.
Whoa!
Well, you might as well just get one imported from Canada.
Yeah, that price.
My God. Anyway, okay. I can't speak to whatever site John is buying it from, which is probably Amazon.com.
It's Amazon, yeah.
.ca's got it way cheaper, and I've got it.
There's usually not that big of a difference.
No, I've got it price locked for 135 Canadian, and if it goes down, it goes down, and if it goes up, they can't change my price that I pay.
Hopefully, they could only go down on mine.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. This will be my 3rd Thin Lizzy box set in total.
Yeah, but this one's one of those you got to have. I mean, 74 tracks. That's pretty cool.
And there's stuff in there that I've been looking for, like some early single B-sides. It looks like it's going to take care of pretty much all the early single versions and edits and weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Janes says that AC/DC light, it's going to be valuable in the apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe they'll be able to trade it for some food or water.
Right. Republic credits are no good here. Okay, so Thin Lizzy's another one. What else do we got, John?
Well, it depends on what you like. I'm really looking forward to the UFO Strangers in the Night Deluxe box set.
10 discs?
8 disc.
8.
Yeah, because the original disc was taken from 6 different shows. And so what they're doing is they remastered the original disc, and then they're giving you the entire show of all 6 shows.
That's doing it right.
Yeah.
That's like giving you Made in Japan and also the box set.
Yeah. So that one's in my little wish list. I think I'm throwing that on my Christmas wish list. So
good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
So that the Who just they're getting ready to release deluxe of Who. That's going to have
their most recent album.
Is Who the most recent?
I believe it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just called Who.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then they're doing a deluxe of that and adding a live album to it,
which actually was a pretty decent album compared to the one before that. This one was actually had some
and wire and
something electric in there. Yeah,
I have it. There's one good song on it.
Yeah, it's
maybe 2.
It's not their best.
Yeah,
and it took them 24 years to make it, or whatever. 24 years, maybe. Let's say.
Yeah.
All right, Pantera's got a 20th anniversary album.
I got that written down. Yeah.
For Reinventing the Steel.
Yeah.
3 disc, just remastered, and then a bunch of rare tracks.
Well, let me just give you because I am a little bit of a Pantera fan.
Okay.
So Pantera was awesome, and then they kind of like dipped a little bit. They went a little bit crazy
for a lot of people.
They wanted to like have the heaviest, most craziest albums that was out there, and then it looked like they were going to be breaking up. They put out a live album and some extra tracks in there, and they looked like they were starting to butt heads, starting to fight. So their producer Terry Date got them back together in the studio and said, let's just do this one album, let's do it let's get back to our roots kind of thing. And they cranked out another really solid album of 10 songs. But because they were all fighting and everything, he had to get them in there and then kind of rush to get the thing finished and out there in case, if they were going to tour to promote this thing, time was of the essence. So Terry Date he was like their producer / manager. And he was the guy that orchestrated all this. But he never was happy with the finished product because he had to kind of rush. So this is actually a cool thing that they're doing. He redid the entire album, and he's putting out so in this box set you get the entire album that he's redone and the original version, so you get both.
When you say redone, is it like a remix?
Yeah, so he remixed the entire album, but if you don't like it, you're going to get the original album as well,
again the way it should have been for all these other albums that were the same, remixed and re-released.
Yeah, like I'm perfectly fine with guys wanting to remix albums and all that, but leave the original, for the people who enjoy it the way it is.
Delete the original, Sharon.
Right. Or George Lucas.
Yeah.
And then the third disc is live stuff, and there is some extra stuff in that because the album was only 10 songs, so there was some room on the other disc.
Single B-sides and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read a couple of comments. I got to check on Jen as well. If you guys wouldn't mind just covering for me for a few minutes, but I'll read these comments first. Contrarian Cop doesn't like the Who, which doesn't surprise me, but does disappoint me. That is why he smells of cabbage. Yeah, that Pantera set looks sweet for Reinventing the Steel. I'm excited to have Terry Date remix it since he did all the others.
Yep.
Okay, I will be back in a jiff. Take it over, guys. Just don't talk about boring WordPress stuff. I'm counting on you to keep
exciting WordPress stuff.
Keep our viewers engaged.
I just want to say for that Pantera set, the bonus songs that it does, so Pantera did a lot of songs for soundtracks and tribute albums and all that. It seems to have gotten all that on this. So like if you're a completionist and all that, you don't want to buy all these different soundtracks and that. I mean, there's a bunch of covers they did for, not a bunch, but they did a few covers of Black Sabbath. And yeah, I'm just looking at the list, and it's all like the stuff that was on like the Crow soundtrack and the Black Sabbath tribute album. That's all on here. So
yeah, but if you're a true completionist, you still buy the Crow album.
Yeah, sure. Why? Well, I mean, I think I got it for $2 at a yard sale or something. So I do have it, but if you want everything, you got to get the CD, because the CD has all the songs. That's not everything is on the vinyl.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I find disappointing a lot lately.
Yeah, I agree.
And occasionally I find a band that I've gotten a few albums where the album had a bonus track and the CD did not. And that kind of stuff, I'll take that all day long.
Right, yeah. I understand like there's only so much room you can fit on an album too, so that's why they do that, but
right.
It just sucks.
It sucks. Yeah.
So. Sorry guys, just for full disclosure, Jen had a seizure at the start of the show.
Oh no.
So but I just went to check on her. She's doing okay. She wanted me to show this off. She just bought this.
Oh, very nice.
She was telling me that it was, how come I can't coordinate myself to get
the other way?
Shoot. Okay. Apparently it was 50% off. It's a beautiful, beautiful jacket. And she wanted me to show this off tonight when we were talking about AC/DC.
Very nice.
But she's doing okay. I'm not keeping her up with the noise, thankfully.
Okay, good.
But this is why I'm glad that I did that epilepsy show a couple weeks ago, because I knew one day it would happen, that this would happen while I'm live.
Yeah.
But fortunately, she's at home, which is the safest possible place.
That is.
I'm going to read some comments here. The Pantera suite. Oh, sorry. Hey, Kevin. Terry Date didn't mix or produce Reinventing the Steel originally. What do you mean?
Oh, he did?
Maybe we'll have to do some research and get back to you on that.
That's what I read. Like, I'm reading this article. I can post it in the chat, but I believe that's what they said here in this article. So I'll post the article in the chat.
Okay,
that's just what I read today.
Okay, yeah, and we'll leave that because there's plenty more new releases to get to. John, I was also curious if you have anything written down for non-rock releases that might be high-profile non-rock releases that are coming up.
Yeah, let me get to my October. Well, Orianthi's rock. That's all rock. Kylie Minogue.
Well, I could mention on October 30th, Geezer Butler is releasing all of his albums.
Vinyl. First time on vinyl, I think, for a lot of that.
Yeah,
if not all of it.
It's Plastic Planet, Black Science, and Ohm. Yeah, it's the first time they'll all be on vinyl.
Bonus tracks.
No bonus tracks. And they are the same mixes as the original stuff. So if you have the originals, I don't know if you need to get these. The only one I'm missing is Ohm, so I might pick up that one. But for the rest, I already have them. So, but it's cool that they're coming out for people who don't have them.
The cover art's modified on that stuff too. It's slightly revised. They all say Geezer on it now instead of GZR, I believe.
Yeah, there was an issue with the labeling of that band. Like sometimes they were Geezer, sometimes they were G/Z//R, and then
it was also very 90s to replace the E's with slashes.
Yeah.
It was kind of like writing in like lowercase uppercase. So 90s. So anyway, so not a lot of rock on your radar, or not a lot of non-rock.
October 23rd.
Okay.
Next week, Beastie Boys have a new greatest hit, and that actually, it's a good compilation.
I might get that.
Yeah, I think I want that one too.
I only have one Beasties album, which is Ill Communication, the deluxe. And that's great. That's the one with Sabotage on it.
Yeah, I have License to Ill.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's also classic.
Yeah. Mint condition, original pressing.
Cassette.
I found it in a collection that I was going through, and I bought like 40 albums from it. And that one was just mint. So,
hey, here's something I didn't know. A little while back, Maiden reissued Live After Death with the B-sides from the live singles. Bonus track repeats purchases. I didn't know that. I would buy that. What is that, like a 3-record set? Drop us another comment, Harrison. And Chris Sarr, he needs that one.
Wow.
I don't know about that Maiden one, so just, keep dropping comments, Harrison.
Yeah. I don't think I know about that one.
Wasn't on my radar.
Yeah. Smith and Myers.
Who are they?
Brent Smith and Zach Myers from the band Shinedown. They do these acoustic stuff. And last week, they released Volume 1. Next week, they released Volume 2. So it's really good. It's half the album, I think, is new songs and half are covers. And, they even cover like Unchained Melody, and then they'll cover something heavy. So I've got that on order, double vinyl. I think it's a double. Hopefully it's a double vinyl, but it said Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I've got it on order coming for me in November, but the albums are digitally available last week and next week. So
speaking of covers, I'm hoping that this is a new album coming out. But did you guys see that awesome Death Angel cover of Under Pressure by Queen? It just came out this week.
Yes, yeah.
That was amazing.
I'll have to look at that one.
Yeah, it was an acoustic cover of Under Pressure by Queen with very little arrangement. It was mostly just the vocals that were blowing me away. I hope Death Angel has something new coming out besides just that one track.
Well, and they must have 2 singers in the band, because there was one guy that was doing the David Bowie parts and the other guy was doing the Freddie Mercury parts, and they were spot on.
I wish the Meat Man was here tonight, because he's the guy who got me into Death Angel.
No, I'm going to have to check. Under Pressure is like my favorite Queen song.
It was good, John. Trust me. It's a lot better than Cornell's version of Patience.
Oh, that bad.
Okay, so Harrison says, I already have the stuff on the 1995 bonus disc. Yes, I know that, but is there like a vinyl version of this? Is that what you're telling us? Because I want that. Sanctuary is included too. 4 new tracks to make the second disc 8 long. So it sounds like maybe it's only a CD reissue. I was kind of hoping it would be vinyl. Sanctuary, I got them all on CD, man. Anyway.
All right.
Sorry.
So,
right.
No.
I left off with Under Pressure. What else do we have?
Next week, this is very disappointing, but Pearl Jam MTV Unplugged is finally coming out in other formats. I have it on vinyl from the record store day.
Oh, that's why you're disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was, because it wasn't an exclusive, but it's like, yeah. But I have it on vinyl. I reviewed it like a year ago. So if
I just got a text from Aaron. Aaron's going to be joining us.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice.
We're still going strong. Come on, buddy.
And then Bruce Springsteen has a new album coming next week.
Is that a studio album?
Yeah, it's called Letter to You. So no E Street Band, just Bruce.
So it's probably just him with the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
That's what I find usually his solo albums are.
Which can be cool. I mean, Ghost of Tom Joad was kind of like that. I really like that track.
That's a good song. Good song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chris Sarr, regarding that version of Patience, I'm sorry, man. Like I got flamed on the local radio station's Facebook page for that one, because I was like this. I gave my honest opinion. I said this sucks, and somebody commented, "Oh, good to know the opinion of the be-all end-all music guy."
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It's just like, okay, whatever. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jen's shouting something out. What's that, sweetie? Holy shit, she just called the song Rotten Bullshit. You can tell she's coming out of her seizure. Sweetie, just so you know, I have headphones on, so I can't hear you too good, okay? Okay. Rotten Bullshit. Wow.
That sums it up.
Wow. And I'm the one who's getting flamed for being the be-all, end-all music guy. Anyway.
October 30th.
Yeah.
U2. All That You Can't Leave Behind 20th Anniversary Edition box.
20 years?
20. Can you believe that?
No, I loved that album when it came out.
Yeah. 5 CDs.
Wow.
It's a remastered copy, a bunch of rarities, a live album, and then a bunch of remix and singles, and that's October 30th.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's really impressive. It's kind of shocking though, that we're releasing 20th anniversary albums of stuff that I was working at the record store and
yeah,
weird feeling, man.
Already time.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Bungle's coming out with an album that day.
Yeah, excited about that one. The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. Right. So the story is that's one of the early demos. It might be their third cassette that they did, and they recently did that semi reunion tour with Dave Lombardo from Slayer and Scott Ian from Anthrax, and it went so well. And that's what they were playing, the old thrash stuff, not so much some of the weirder later stuff. And they decided to re-record that demo cassette in the studio with this lineup, and I'm pumped. I mean, I love Mr. Bungle, and chances are I'm never going to own those early cassettes. Yes, you can hear them on YouTube, but that's not the same.
It's not the same thing,
right?
And then a band I'm excited about. They're not a hard rock band at all, but the Fratellis. It's an alternative band. I just like the guys, John Fratelli. I like his voice. It's just it's an old school kind of, I don't know, 60s rock sounding voice to me. And and
I know them. They do that song that they play at sports events sometimes, right? There was one sports team that got really into that one song.
Yeah, and I can't remember which one it is, what the name of it is, but I know what you're talking about.
All right.
Yeah. And then Blackstone Cherry have another album, if you're a fan of theirs. Non-rock, Sam Smith. So
okay, yeah, big name.
Pop fan, Sam Smith has it October 30th as well.
That'll be big, especially. I think he's huge in the UK.
Yeah, yeah. Gwar has a new album.
Really?
Well, maybe it's a greatest hits. It's a 30th anniversary of Scumbags of the Universe.
Okay, okay.
If you like Christmas albums, the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh no, you serious?
It's Christmas all over, and no, it's Christmas over because I'm not listening to that. But
okay, so here's me with the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh God, they just went on. They had some great albums, when they first with Name and Iris and those albums and stuff. And
in my opinion, the Goo Goo Dolls peaked with Dizzy Up the Girl, which is the one that had Iris on it.
Yeah.
And then they just the following album, Gutter Flowers, was also good, but it didn't have as many decent Dizzy Up the Girl is all good songs. Yeah. And then they just went way too commercial, just writing pop songs and ballads and pop songs. This is a band that started as a punk band. One of their earliest songs is called Up Yours.
And now they've got the John Bon Jovi syndrome. So let's write the same song.
I have always said, John, that Goo Goo Dolls were like the Bon Jovi of the late 90s, and Johnny Resnick was like the John Bon Jovi of the late 90s, and they're following the same damn path.
They are. It's awful. It's awful.
I don't get this. Chelsea Dagger is the name of.
That's the name of the song.
Yep. Okay. Mike only likes Merlian Christmas albums. That's partially true. And they do tank for the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do tank the hits.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Christmas stuff though. My absolute favorite Christmas album is one that I'll talk about after Aaron gets here, maybe. But still waiting on him. He was putting the kids to bed, apparently.
Oh. My kids are old enough; they can do it themselves. One's actually working right now. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she's making bank now.
Nice.
Wow.
It's nice.
Hey, at what point does a parent ask a kid to pay rent?
Once they've graduated college and moved back.
Okay. Yeah, that's about when my mom made me pay rent too.
Because while you're in college, if you're home, I mean, she's going to be hopefully away at a good school and not have to worry about living at home while she's at school. But I told her, I was like, yeah, you come back and you're going to pay rent. I mean, I had to. I lived at home for 2 years after college and then bought a house. So,
ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to please welcome the one, the only, the Mr. The Books. Hello? Hello?
Hi, guys.
Hey, buddy.
I made it. How are y'all?
I'm sorry that you missed.
Good.
You know what? You missed some stuff. I'll get you caught up real quick.
Okay.
We've been rip-roaring through new releases.
Okay.
We've talked AC/DC. We've talked a couple of your favorite bands, Maiden and Sloan. I read your Sloan review.
Oh, the single. I was going to say there's an album. Oh, please tell me there's an album.
Well, we were hoping, but I was hoping maybe you could tell us more. But we talked about that. We can always circle back. But we've also been talking a whole crap ton of new releases that John's got written. Oh, and we talked to the new Gord Downey that came out today.
That came out today.
Yes.
Oh,
you might want to maybe.
Well, now, because see, I have a promise that I'm going to be receiving a copy of that.
Okay.
Because I have an anniversary card from my wife that says whenever that comes out, you're getting that. So,
well, do you want to tell her that she's late?
We forgot. It's not like it's going anywhere. It's not limited edition or anything. We'll get one.
Anyway, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say about the Maiden or the Sloan. We gone over them in pretty good detail.
I was just going to be along for the ride anyway. I really do like the Sloan song.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about the Sloan a bit, because that's the only one that we couldn't really talk about in an informed way.
Well, oh God, you're relying on me.
Well, you've heard it.
You're going to be sorry. No, okay. So this goes back a long ways, but anybody who's ever listened to Sloan in any detail will know that they are not only masters of songwriting, but they're also masters of wordplay.
Yeah.
And a lot of what they put in their lyrics can be taken at least two ways. So a song could be about a relationship, but could it also be something about something else? And that's what this single was about. And I put that in what I wrote, is that he's very much talking about how silence is better than lying. And in a relationship, sometimes it's better to just not say something rather than compound the problem. But when you call a song Silence Trumps Lies, it could very much in these heightened political days be taken as something else.
No idea what you're talking about at all.
But when you actually look at the lyrics, he's totally also talking about that. So they were able to take those lines and make them about two very different things. And I just love it. I love them to bits. I think they're just awesome. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
we enjoyed your review.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm just going to read some comments. Best Christmas album is Vince Guaraldi Trio, Charlie Brown Christmas, which I bought for my sister many years ago when it was reissued on CD. It's a fantastic album.
I have it on green vinyl.
Richard Dreyfuss just got pushed to the right by John Malkovich. Wow. Now you're John Malkovich. I'm not sure how to take that.
Malkovich.
Now, Sebastian Munier is keeping score, which is good.
And
he admires your pug and your gear behind you. Well done, sir.
Oh, that's Harlan.
Oh, Harlan.
Right, remember Harlan ate a pug?
Yeah,
maybe no one else remembers Harlan ate a pug. This is the pug. That's a whole other weirdness thing. Yeah, and the rest is just guitar crap. I have a little bit of that.
Sebastian apparently has covered Coax Me by Sloan, which, I want to hear that. I haven't heard it.
Ooh.
It's not the band, it's their fans. That's one of their best lyrics. Yes, he's so right about that.
Yep.
Wow. Sloan rented his studio for pre-production in 2011.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Every Sloan connection is a good Sloan connection. At
some point, I'm going to have Sebastian on the show. We were talking about him earlier. He's a huge Trekkie, and I need to do a Trek-based show at one point. Cool. I was telling the guys that he's got a tattoo on his back of the emblem of the Klingon Empire. So that's how you know he's serious.
Well, I guess
he's a Klingon.
I guess if it all comes down, he knows where he's going.
Yeah, well, he's going to Kronos. Going to Kronos, the Klingon homeworld.
Right.
Anyway, to get us back on where we were, John had just mentioned some new releases, and I think he has a couple more to discuss.
I have a few. November 6th is the great day. Lots of good stuff.
Yes.
Just got Soto, which I'm a massive Soto fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For those who don't know, Yngwie Malmsteen, briefly Journey, a bunch of other bands.
Talisman, Eyes, Takara, Redline. And then solo stuff, Soto, Sons of Apollo. with the Sons of Apollo stuff is great. Mike Portnoy, Bailey Sheehan, some good guys like that.
I've been stood corrected. Klingons go to Stovelcore when they die.
That's right.
And Rob Daniels would look forward to a Trek show. You'll be on the Trek show, Rob. You're not getting out of that one.
He's got to bring the soundtracks.
The soundtracks, I'm hoping maybe Rob can enlighten us, but I would like to see a new release Star Trek Discovery soundtrack for season 3, which started yesterday. The composer who does the Star Trek soundtracks is a guy by the name of Jeff Russo. And if you Google him, you'll notice he's done a bunch of soundtracks, but also you'll know him from the band Tonic. Remember Tonic?
Oh, wow.
Lemon Parade.
We did Tonic. I think Aaron, a few years ago, we did like a Where Are We Now?
Yep.
And Tonic was the band that I chose.
Yeah, that's a great album.
It is. It's a fantastic album.
Yep.
And now I have Rob and Sebastian speaking Klingon to each other in a brand new twist to the LEBRAIN train. It's the first Klingon conversation ever occur on the LEBRAIN train. Actually, you know what? There's a metal band called Stovelcore that sing metal in Klingon.
Yeah.
In Klingon.
Yeah.
In Klingon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
That is dedication.
That is.
Do they have a new release coming out, John?
No, I do not know about them. So
hold on.
Where's he running to?
He's going to get his album of Stovelcore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
In the collection.
That would be awesome.
I have a new release I can share.
Oh, okay.
It's already out, but you should all be excited because I am. There's a new Guided by Voices.
Oh,
Guided by Voices.
Because they didn't have enough albums.
Yeah, James.
30, 40? Oh, 100 and something, don't.
I don't even know because there's so many side projects and stuff. It's got to be over 200 at this point.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number.
It's a lot. Yeah. And a lot of it was vinyl only. Anyway, this one is called Mirrored Aztec. And it just came out, and I highly recommend it because it's awesome. I'm a big fan. I've got most of it here.
And I want to know how I missed that.
What's that?
I want to know how I missed that, not having that on any of my list.
It's been out for a little bit, actually.
Okay.
Maybe it was a couple of months ago, and I totally fell asleep because I haven't been buying a whole lot. And Robert Pollard is usually my guy. I usually go buy his stuff. I don't even ask. I just buy it.
Yeah.
And, but money has been tighter because I'm home and I haven't been paying attention to a whole lot, and I haven't been buying a lot. And so I missed that one. So I finally just said, screw this, I'm ordering it. So, probably a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. So it might have been
probably means he's due for a new one now again, because that he seems to fart them, 5 or 6 a year sometimes. So
yeah, I know when they're on the list.
I'm just going to put that up real quick. That's Sebastian's link for Coax Me. But keep talking, John.
Okay.
Coax me, cajole me.
Also on November 6th, White Snake.
The Love album.
So they're doing, for those that don't know, he's doing a Red, White, and Blue series. Yeah. The White album was the rock album, came out a few months back. It's basically taking all their songs and remixing them with a lot of the guitar, with his current band, and just changing the mix. And then there's an occasional rare track or unreleased track on there. This one is the Love Song, or Love Songs, which is the red album. So it'll be a red vinyl. And then sometime in 2021, I think the last I heard would be February, but who knows if that's going to get pushed back at all. It's going to be the Blue album, which is the blues album on a blue vinyl. So it's going to be all the White Snake songs that were blues tinted or whatever, however you want to say that one.
Yeah.
So this isn't new stuff. It's all re-released.
I think there's a couple new tracks on there, and there might be like rare tracks from a left off an album. Restless Heart. Well, we'll get to that. Restless Heart is the next box set that's coming from Whitesnake. And
really? That I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that is going to be sometime in 2021. I haven't seen the date yet. It's pretty much done. I think they're still final mixing some of it, but I think they're pretty close to being done. But it's going to be like his last few box sets. So it's going to have 5 or 6 CDs. It'll have the original album. It'll have a remix of that album. It'll have probably a live show from that.
Evolutions.
And then it'll have an Evolutions and then nothing but B-sides. And Evolutions is the one you want because it's the one that takes it from the beginning of the song and it slowly builds to what it becomes on the album. And it's really, so it could be a 3-minute song that turns into 7 minutes because they're throwing so much in there.
Wow.
So you can see how it grew and went from nothing to the full-blown song. So that's my favorite disc all the time.
I have to admit, I'm a little surprised that we're getting a deluxe Restless Heart, but I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, that one I'm excited about. It wasn't my favorite album, but it's gotten better as I've gotten older.
Got some good tunes on it.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to hear the rare stuff.
Unfortunately, we have no soundtrack announcement for Star Trek Season 3 yet. But when we do a Trek show, Rob has soundtracks, a lot of soundtracks. And as we know, the viewers love when Rob does show and tell. Yes. And here's one of them. Rob has a fan base.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh no, that's neat that they're doing that. When you first said White Album, I thought Beatles.
Yeah, well, the title will be a little confusing for some people, but they called it the Rock Album.
It's the Rock Album, but it's his Red, White, and Blue series because each vinyl is a different color. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you've got red for the color of love and blue for the color of the blues.
Yeah. And then white went with rock. So which
I guess
leftover.
You were white knuckling it.
Yeah. Here we go. And then also Orianthi has her new solo album out or coming out.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Not so much with Richie Sambora, but on her own, she's phenomenal.
She can play guitar better than me.
What'd you say?
She can play guitar better than me.
Oh,
she can do a lot of things better than me. She can sing better than me. She can play guitar better than me. She can wear knee-high boots better than me.
Yeah, not better than me, though. Only on weekends.
Yeah. And Red Beach has a solo album coming out. And I want to say it's instrumental.
Oh, Red Beach
Red
from
Beach.
White Snake talking. Yeah.
White Snake and Winger. Alter Bridge is reissuing Walk the Sky 2.0. So I'm kind of interested to hear what that. I think it's new mix or not really. I didn't look up that one too much, so I don't know what that one's going to be about. But I'm guessing it's a remixed album.
You know, it's funny. There was another one that you mentioned earlier that's a reissue of a fairly recent album. It's just becoming so commonplace now to reissue an album within a year of its original issue.
And then throw a couple extra tracks to make
yeah.
That kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
Do you suppose? Well, that's too soon. I was going to say, are they unhappy with the mix or something, and they would wish they had done it differently? But that's like that quickly. That reminds me of those Mumford and Son guys, and they would put out a record, and then like 2 months later, there'd be a deluxe edition with extra tracks or whatever on it. Like, why didn't you just?
But in the early 2000s, they were doing that. I mean, that was what the record company was. Here's the album. 6 months later, here's another album. We're going to put out a new single.
Yeah,
it's not on your original album. Make you pay for it again.
Yeah.
That crap just give me a single release, give me a deluxe all at the same time, and then I'll pick which one I want.
Right. One of the earliest examples that I can think of that happening, John, is Lenny Kravitz 5, which I believe it was probably that cover of American Woman from the Austin Powers soundtrack that they added that onto Lenny Kravitz 5 and reissued it. And it gave us a struggle at the record store because, most people were trading in their old copies, which nobody wanted. And you had to make sure that it was clearly identifiable to the customer, which version they were buying. That I remember that distinctly. Lenny Kravitz 5 was one of those reissue nightmares for us.
Wow. All right. Then on November 20th, Iron Maiden, of course.
Yeah.
And then for me, I'm excited. The Wild Feathers. It's they're soft. They're kind of they're sort of country. They've got that country twang, southern rock a little bit, and a soft rock at the same time. I don't know. they're a unique sound for me. I really like them.
Cool.
I have all their albums, so they're not as well known. They tour with, usually they're touring with like Blackberry Smoke and that style band. So, and then the Dirty Knobs.
Yeah, that's Mike Campbell's band.
Thank you. Yeah, that was supposed to come out.
Sorry,
like
who? From Tom Petty?
Yeah.
The Dirty Knobs?
Yeah.
Dirty Knobs. And it's got a picture of a train, Mike. You'd like it.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like the one single that I listened from, Reckless Abandon, it was good.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to hearing that one. But yeah, that was supposed to come out, I think, in March or April. And it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, it was like June, and they just went November 20th. And
I'm looking forward to it.
They pushed it off as far as Weezer did, but they pushed it off.
You know, I really cannot wait to send my mom an email with my Christmas list to put the Dirty Knobs.
The Dirty
Knobs. Mom's Christmas list.
There's got to be a story behind that name.
Yeah,
right. Like maybe they had an old amp that was filthy or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it worked as a double entendre as well.
Yeah. Or maybe that's just what they think of themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Harrison Kopp loves trains, incidentally.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question about the Maiden.
Yeah, I got the answer.
Since I'm not in the loop, this is obviously a live album.
Okay, Aaron, I'll give you the quick rundown.
Yeah, because
recorded live in Mexico City, September 2019. They played 3 consecutive shows in Mexico City and compiled them into one set, 15 tracks, spanning the very first Iron Maiden album all the way to A Matter of Life and Death in 2006. It's an excellent set list. Deke was going ape shit because there's 2 Blaze Bailey, not Deke, sorry, Harrison. Harrison was going ape shit because there's 2 Blaze Bailey tunes on here with Bruce Dickinson singing, The Klansmen and Sign of the Cross. And it's nice to hear those songs back in the set. They got For the Greater Good of God back in the set. And just a ton of classics. Where Eagles Dare, The Trooper, Revelations, man. That's not one that gets in the set very often. Flight of Icarus, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, blah, blah, blah.
Cool. Okay.
You're set, man. You are set. It's not a repeat of the Book of Souls live.
Well, see, that's what I wondered, because I saw that tour in 2016 and I'm like, they cannot still be trying to foist that on people. Like, no. That's 4 years ago.
See, I told you Harrison's going apeshit for this. Flight of Icarus is back in the set. Awesome.
So now, Bruce Dickinson singing Blaze Bailey's tracks. Discuss.
I have no issue with it. He's done it since the very first tour. He's done it since the very first tour.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Aaron, you've probably heard. He does some on Rock and Rio, and he does some on Death on the Road. If you have those albums,
I don't know. I didn't go out of my way. I got the studio albums, but I don't know that I went out of my way to buy all of the live albums, because I was like, well, what am I actually going to listen to? Probably the studio records.
Right.
And then, now I've been in the house over 200 days.
There's a bit of a love affair going on here between Rob and Janes. Rob said he's not on tonight because he doesn't know enough about what we're talking about. Fair game. But apparently it doesn't matter because his effortless cool adds to any topic. I can't argue with that either.
Right? Yeah. Got it. That's
true.
This is interesting. Obviously pre-COVID, when Iron Maiden had to cancel all their dates, Adrian was playing his solo on Revelations every other night, with Yannick doing it on the opposing nights. That's cool. I like that. And he's glad that the Blaze songs are still getting recognition 20 years after Blaze was fired from the band. Regardless of Blaze's voice, okay?
You want to be on?
Those albums are part of the Maiden discography, and I don't like when a band just completely erases a part of their discography. John knows what I'm talking about, because Kiss have certainly done that with certain elements of their discography.
And Motley Crue's done it.
Motley Crue and Van Halen and a lot of bands. So Harrison's 100% right that Maiden are not short shrifting any aspect of their discography, which I am 100% behind, regardless of how you feel about Blaze. Because it's Bruce singing, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I got nothing to argue with there either. I wasn't a fan of those two records. That's all. Because when I did that whole series where I went through all the Maiden records and simultaneously with you, Mike, and we hit those, and I just went, oh, I guess maybe because I was so used to the other, but
actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question now from the first part of the show. We were going through the new releases that came out today. Tommy Lee. I was wondering if you'd be interested in doing a drunk review of Tommy Lee.
I would. I have two things to say to that. First of all, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. And second of all, I haven't had a drink in 5 years. So I probably won't be able to participate.
Dang. Okay. So
I know those were popular. But I actually just haven't. So
right now, I think Kevin still enjoys a beer, but right now we got three guys here who don't drink. Yeah, you, me, and John.
Yeah. Well, and that wasn't even it's a problem, I've got to stop. It was just a New Year's Eve, and I looked at a glass of wine just before midnight, and I'm like, I don't need this anymore. So I put it down, and I haven't touched it since.
I was telling the guys I just don't have the stomach for it anymore. I'll throw up every time.
Honestly, I haven't I might have had 5 drinks all year, especially now. I'm not going out with I'm if I go out with other people, sure, I'll have a beer.
Well, Kevin, maybe it's a challenge. Next time you're on the show, bring a beer with you, and I
don't have any. I haven't bought a beer since Christmas.
Brought to you by.
This is the most exciting podcast in the history of podcasts. Look at these guys. What was that? Was that a Coke Zero?
It was.
No caffeine, no sugar.
No, it's got caffeine.
This is the Coke Zero of podcasts right here.
Fugazi approves. We got the straight edge.
Yeah. Well,
and because of Aaron, I have been cutting back on my caffeine.
I didn't mean to do that to anyone else.
It's all his fault. And you know what? I feel so relaxed. It's been a very I've usually got a lot of anxiety. That's probably why I'm quieter this episode. I'm just relaxed, sit back, watching the show.
That's nice. That's doing you some good.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, that stuff. It's all about what is it called? The adenosine receptors in the brain, and your body creates adrenaline and fills those receptors, but then it gets artificially replaced with the caffeine, and then your body doesn't do the adrenaline anymore, and then it's all in your lizard brain.
Don't tell me too much because I haven't cut it out completely. Okay. I just cut it back.
it's your fight or flight response part of your brain.
I started with a coffee, but I haven't gotten a refill. And
I started by going at lunch at noon, no caffeine for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I would have a couple coffees in the morning and whatever, and then
Friday night is my exception to that rule. Yep. But now I'm not even drinking coffee during the week because we're talking about drinking coffee at work, and that it drives my anxiety up way too much. Can't do it. I used to. Man, I just don't have the stomach I used to have. Anxiety has gotten the better of me physically. I hate to say it. I'm fighting hard, but the fact is, anxiety's got the better of me physically. It's won over my stomach. Anxiety, its home base is now my stomach.
Yeah, I'll tell you the cure. And I've been doing this for a while, and it isn't even the caffeine necessarily, although I've been doing this without, and I'm fine. Exercise.
Thank you. Yes.
I'll tell you, I walk 3 kilometers every morning. At 4 a.m, I go out for a walk. And then I come back and I do a half hour on the bike. I have a barbell and a bench, and I do squats and deadlifts and stuff like that, bench presses and stuff. And I also do 200 push-ups and 200 sit-ups every day.
Wow.
Excellent. And I'll tell you, I feel fantastic.
Good. It's a walker.
It's so simple.
That's excellent, man.
It just takes that energy and puts it somewhere else. And then you're better able to, you got to get a sweat on. I mean, if you don't get a sweat on, your day, your day is kind of going to not take off anyway. But I swear, even just go out for a walk. And it doesn't matter the weather. I go out with an umbrella. I'll go out in February when it's minus 25. I don't care. I'll go outside. You know me. I don't care about the snow. The winter doesn't bother me at all. I'll be outside all day in minus 25. It doesn't bother me. But you've got to at least be moving for part of your day. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like that. It's just going to all compress, and it's going to all get tight, and then you just start spinning, right? If you don't expend.
You don't just tune into the show for the music. You tune in for the helpful tips
and the pipes,
and the pythons. Python. I'm going to read some comments before we get back to the new releases.
That was horrible. Sorry.
Holy crap! We got so many comments here. You know what? I'll just handpick a couple. Sebastian loves coffee.
Yep. Hey, I love coffee too.
Mm-hmm.
He never drank coffee. Sweet smell of coffee he loves. He never drinks coffee. Coca-Cola is his fiend. Yeah. Rob doesn't drink alcohol either. The last thing he had was a Pop Shop hard cream soda. I'd never even heard of that. That's cool. And about the Tommy Lee.
Now's the time to start.
Hang on. There was something in here about how him and Harrison are going to do a wasted Tommy Lee review, which I'd be fine with. Sure. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to the new releases, John.
Oh, yeah. It just keeps going off.
Is that what we're here for?
Are you still on the 20th, John? Is that where we're at?
We're on the 27th. I've skipped a few.
Oh, okay. Can I just mention a couple on the 27th?
Yeah.
Diamond Head is re-releasing their first album.
Yes.
Don't get too excited, though, because I listened to it, and it's not the same Diamond Head band. If you ever heard their first album, it doesn't sound that. It's like great riffs and all that, but it doesn't sound very good. So I was really excited for a re-recording, but it's the current lineup, which only has the original guitarist in it. And their singer is, in my opinion, a little Nickelback-y. Like there's some sort of enhancement going on with the voice, and it's just it doesn't jive with me.
So. I have the way to buy that album, which is called Lightning to the Nations. And Metallica have covered basically every track on
almost, yes.
Basically, the way to get that is either an original vinyl, if you can find one, because you don't want the remix that came out later. Or my preferred method is there is a CD version. The audio is taken straight from vinyl, and it has all the B-sides from all the singles. That's the version to get. I don't think I've reviewed it, but I'll get around to it.
Is that the Japanese version?
No.
Okay.
European release, I believe.
Okay.
Harrison, it doesn't get wasted, so hey, I'm cool with that. And he's the only Australian in the world to never get wasted, I guess.
There is a reputation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got two more from November 20th. Okay, so John Fogerty, one of my favorite things that he has been doing since COVID started is that he's been sequestered with his family, and he's been re-recording all of his more known tunes with his family, with his kids.
Right on.
So they decided to take some of those tracks and put them to vinyl, and I think CD. They actually redid the Cosmos Factory. They reenacted the cover. Yeah, like one kid's on the bike and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
The only thing that sucks about it is there's only about 7 tracks. You go to his YouTube channel, he's got a ton there, and there's just so many fun ones. Like it's just his kids just sitting all behind the mixing board, and his daughter's just on a snare drum, and like just so many different ways that they recreated the songs. But there's 7 of them on there. So I'm looking forward to that.
How old are the kids?
They seem to be all either teenagers or early 20s. The one that Blue Boy is it was actually funny. That was the video with just his daughter on the snare drum, and that's a song off of Full Moon Fever from the 1990s. So they do the whole song, and then at the end of the song, he actually plays a clip from his video of Blue Boy from 1997, and his son is in it when he's a little kid. Yelling at John Fogerty to turn it down because it's hurting his ears, which is hilarious to see because he's playing bass for the whole thing, and then his kids at the end. So
yeah, that's
very cute stuff. Okay, so the other one, now forgive me, this is all stuff that I've read. Okay, so I'm not an expert. I'm not there. I wasn't there in 1970 in Maui to see this happen. So if I get something wrong, I'm sorry, but this is what I read today. So Jimi Hendrix, he got a new manager sometime in 1970. His new manager's idea was that he was going to make a Jimi Hendrix movie. I can't remember the exact name of the movie, but apparently it was like this really weird movie that didn't make any sense. But one of the ideas in the movie was that Jimi Hendrix was going to be performing at the foot of a volcano. And he does this entire set at the foot of a volcano. They've never bits and pieces of it ended up in this movie, but they never did the whole soundtrack has never been officially released. So they're going to be releasing that on November 3rd. So it's called the Jimi Hendrix Experience Live in Maui.
Wrong. It should be called Stand Right Next to a Mountain and Chop It Down with the Edge of my hand.
There you go.
I was on a mountain.
What this could have been called.
I was going to call it Jimmy versus the volcano.
That would be good too.
Look who has just joined us, John.
Oh, my nephew.
There you go.
It's no family reunion.
I know. I haven't seen him in a year.
Rainbow Bridge. That was the name of the movie. The weird movie that they're going to make.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it.
Check it out. It looks like it's going to be good. Anyways.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of like the way the Hendrix, what is that, a foundation or a
estate? It's the estate.
The estate.
Yeah.
I like the way they've handled the releases.
I'm with you. Like it was under RCA, I think, before, and they kind of would just put out stuff willy-nilly with not a lot of forethought. But since the family has taken it over, they've really they get Eddie Kramer in, who was his engineer, to remix all the stuff and do it right, and put the songs in compilations that make sense, so you're not buying the same songs over and over again.
Because we would anyway.
Yes.
Right. There's been a lot of efforts over the years to sort of recreate what Jimmy's final studio album would have been. I remember there was First Light of the Dying Sun, whatever that was called, and then another one, maybe 10,
People,
15 years.
Hell, Angels.
And it's really a matter of speculation what Jimmy actually would have done, but turns out he probably would have just kept laboring in the studio until he was satisfied, I think. But yeah, anyway, that's a cool one too. I would be interested in hearing that.
Yep. Christmas list is getting longer. I'm maybe not. Maybe I should be regretting signing on here. I'll go this way. There we go.
All right. November 27th.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh yeah.
CYR. So it's the new album from them. I don't really know anything about it. I'm not a huge Pumpkin fan.
How many original members are in there?
It's everybody.
The three of them still.
The young lady's not in. The lady's not there.
No Darcy.
Darcy, thank you.
Yeah.
Her and Billy tried to reconcile a couple of times, but I guess it got kind of crazy and
it didn't work out very well.
She's had some issues legally and otherwise.
Yeah. And Kenny Wayne Shepherd has a live album, Straight to You. So that should be good.
Yeah.
Wow. I like him.
And
then Dream Theater have a live album, Distant Memories live in London. So, and then if you're really heavy, Hatebreed has a new album, and Within the Ruins has a new album. So Scott would like those. Probably
Scott Carson, HMO.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
HMO.
Our heavy metal overlord. Now, you mentioned the Dream Theater. Am I correct in remembering there's also a new John Petrucci solo album?
There is. I think it's already out. Terminal
Velocity. Is it out? Okay.
Yeah. At least digitally, I think it's out.
Okay.
Terminal Velocity.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. I knew it was coming, or yeah.
And then December 4th, my kids are super excited, especially my youngest daughter. Shawn Mendes has his new album called Wonder. So if you're a teenager, that probably means something to you. To me, it means I have to buy concert tickets, and she wants to meet him, so I got to buy backstage passes. So it's going to be a very expensive album if he tours anytime soon. That's for her 16th birthday. She wants to meet him.
Okay.
So it's cheaper than taking her to Italy. So I think I might try to do it. Yeah.
Oh, that was the other option, was it?
Jeez.
Well, we've been thinking about hitting Europe again sometime. So
not anytime soon.
Years before she's 16.
Right. Okay.
And then the White Stripes have a greatest hits album coming out.
Oh, good. Is this the first time for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah. No, I don't really want to go back and get the whole catalog, but that I'll buy.
No, I don't need their whole catalog.
Well, see, I have the whole catalog. So
me too.
I was gonna say. So I mean, if it's just
tracks,
songs from those records, then
yeah,
I can make my own.
So, guys, just so you know, earlier, I asked Weeping Willow Creations, Sage, who did my artwork, to come on at the tail end of the show. She just messaged me and she's available to come on at 9. I just need 5 minutes of her time to promote her business.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm expecting her around 9.
Cool.
Okay.
And if I have to get up and go, it's because the kids need to be chased back into bed.
Understood.
But I can come back.
Understood, Mr. Malkovich.
Yeah, that's. Here's an interesting factoid. And this just came to me because of the famous people thing, and you know, everybody calls John Richard Dreyfuss, and I'm sure that gets tired. When in high school, you know how you're voted most likely to be whatever. In high school, I was voted most likely to be Jack Handy from Saturday Night Live.
You know what, Aaron? I'm going to get Rob to post a comment. On Wednesday, he posted, you know how Rob does this, the public domain movies every week, like from the 50s and 60s. He did one this week about how youth should make goals and have plans. And it started off with this guy, and he's like, "Oh, how come I never get voted most likely to do this or do that?" And then he's getting lectured. Well, it's because you don't go out of your way to socialize, and you don't have a plan. You're not putting anything into motion in your life. And the movie made me feel like shit. And it made me feel like total dog shit. Like, oh my God, I don't have a plan either.
Do any of us really?
I've never been voted most likely to do anything either.
I hope when the dogs take over the world, they don't vote for their leader based on size, because I'm sure there are some Chihuahuas with some really great ideas. That kind of thing.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh crap.
Yeah.
All right, John, keep going. But John, just curious, how much more do you have? I don't want to keep you guys beyond your time.
That is it that we have that's official.
Oh, okay.
I have one, and I know this one will be this is my last one, and I know Aaron would be really interested in this one. So Neil Young is diving back into his archives. The last time he did this was in 2009. Now he's coming out with huge. Now he's coming out with Archives Volume 2, and within that, on December 6th, they're supposed to release. It's called Neil Young Way Down in the Rust Bucket. This is a live album with Crazy Horse, and it's from November 1990. So this is the era. Glory. This is the Ragged Glory era. So you're going to get all. I looked at the track list, and there was at least 5 or 6 tunes from Ragged Glory. So.
Oh my God, I love that album.
Me too. I'm with you. And,
except for the last song, it gets a little touchy-feely, but
that's
Mother
just
Earth song or whatever.
Right.
The rest of it is just brilliant.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. That is good news. I never bought the archive thing because, I have most of the albums here already. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to rebuy come to time because I already have it on CD and on vinyl. So I don't need another copy. But, I just, I like that he's doing that.
Yeah. Well, and it's for, really for new fans too. That,
absolutely. Yeah. So. He's got to pay for his highfalutin lifestyle. Somehow.
That too. Well, he's got to, take Daryl Hannah out and wine and diner. So.
Oh yeah, and here I am driving a 12-year-old car. Come on,
guys. There's one more new release I forgot to mention, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's not out till January. But Accept, we talked about them earlier. Actually, Accept have a new album coming out January 15th. It's called "Too Mean to Die." And the lead single comes out shortly. It's called "The Undertaker," and there is going to be a B-side, I believe, a live B-side on that single. So, in the new year, we've already got some stuff to look forward to. Brand new Accept, and I think I mentioned this last week that I have a full, complete set of all of the Mark Tornillo era Accept albums. I'm really, really fond of him as a singer. This band has had a real second wind with Mark as the lead singer, and so I'm looking forward to the new Accept album in January.
I think they missed the boat on the title of that one too. It should be called Balls at the Mall.
You're on fire tonight.
I mean, why don't people ask me? I could tell them.
Aaron, there's one thing that you did miss. Again, you don't need to be on social media, but Deke shared, several weeks ago before we got the official track listing, Deke shared with us a leaked, what turned out to be bogus track listing for the new AC/DC album.
Okay.
And the reason this was funny to us was the last track was called "Rock Your Balls Off," and it's like simultaneously, there's no way AC/DC would name a song like that, but simultaneously, they might.
Nothing is outside the realm of that possibility.
Yeah.
No. I'm struggling in my memory, and I can't, and this is bad, but at one point, Henry Rollins,
Yeah.
another one of my favorites. He did a talk. He was doing a talking show, and he was talking about AC/DC, and he was talking to the crowd like it was this, like he was talking about the band, and this is one of their songs, and he's just rhyming off these lyrics, and he's just saying these few lines, and then he stops and he says, "How many people here know that song? Because I just made that whole thing up." But they do everything the same every time, and even I can do it. I remember, that's pretty funny. So that's not outside the realm of possibility either.
Too bad Rollins isn't on our new release list, because we could really use some Rollins in 2020.
He won't be doing music anymore.
No,
he quoted him. I could quote him as saying that punk rock does not age well.
That's too bad.
And
I really feel like we could use some Rollins in 2020.
Yes. Now, there's a solution to that. Go get yourself a copy of The Only Way to Know for Sure, the 2-disc live album. I think, Mike, I gave you a copy of that.
Yes, I do. Sorry.
Because that is like a bomb going off, and everyone needs a copy.
Which one, sorry?
It's called The Only Way to Know for Sure.
Yes. Not only
2-disc
did you get me that album, but it blew me away on first listen, and I said to myself that this is maybe one of the best live albums I've ever heard, and maybe we should do another show on live album lists, because it was that's a blow away album.
I'd be happy to do a whole Rollins show, but I might be the only one that owns all his albums.
The Meat Man might be familiar with his catalog.
Mm-hmm.
I only really know the few that I've bought and received from you. But
I'm like, here, take the Rollins.
I don't know. Like, I think the guy's just a genius, to be honest with you. I really feel like we could use some of his wisdom in 2020. I feel like we're kind of adrift. I'm really glad we're getting AC/DC, though. This really does help put a positive spin at the end of 2020.
Yeah.
As I wait for Sage to come in, I may as well plug that I'm planning on doing a Halloween show. You guys are all more than welcome to take part. The only catch is I'm planning on doing it in costume, and I think everybody should be in costume for it.
Oh, I'm scared.
But it's up to you guys. Rob, I'm hoping this will be a Rob and me kind of thing, because Halloween's his big deal. But you guys are more than welcome to participate if you're looking at maybe throwing on a wig. Or
I'm not going to start having hair now.
No, I received my costume in the mail just a couple of days ago, and it's going to be an original costume. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
You're
but
be a unicorn.
Halloween falls on a Saturday. I haven't decided if I'm going to do both a Friday and a Saturday show that weekend. I might end up doing that.
Yes.
Yes,
you should.
Okay.
Why don't you do this every night of the week?
Then I will. I will do every night. No. I will do a live Halloween show with Rob, whichever night works for him, and I'll do a regular show the other night of that week.
What's the content for the Halloween show? I
hadn't really thought about it, but I'm sure we can come up with plenty of Halloween related. So, sorry, I misspoke. I did have an idea. It just slipped my mind. I wanted to talk about Halloween memories. I can tell you probably my first 6 or 7 costumes that I wore, and I wouldn't mind just reminiscing and talking about our favorite Halloween memories, favorite Halloween costumes. That was what I wanted to go with.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Now, I may not be here for that.
That's fine.
We're going to be, I think we're still bubbled with my parents, and we'll be at their house for that. We're not going to trick or treat this year.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to hole up in the basement with a movie for the kids and leave the lights off upstairs.
They'll be doing trick or treating here.
You will be, or you won't be?
They will be here.
They will
so
be.
I'll be sitting in my driveway, just chatting with all the neighbors.
Yeah. Well,
everybody will probably be in their driveway just yelling at each other.
And ordinarily, that's what we do.
Social.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, even if it was a regular year, we wouldn't be here because the kids would want to be out,
right,
chasing around, right? Like, so we go out with them. So, but yeah, this year we're not participating. Because they just, I think, it's Toronto region anyway, and it's probably going to happen here too, where they're taking, because they had smaller class sizes, and so now they're expanding the class sizes back to regular class sizes. So where you maybe had 17, 18 kids in a class, now you'll have closer to 30 again. So a lot of those teachers are now moving to the online. And so you're just going to have all those kids mashed together again. And we're just like, no, not this year.
Do kids really still get excited for Halloween, or is it?
Yeah. Well, my guys are 11 and 9, and Isaac, my boy, he's 11, and he's this is the first year where he said he wasn't sure he wanted a costume, that maybe he was getting a little old for dressing up, but my daughter, she's 9, she's all for it. She's already got her costume. Okay. She's ready to go.
Hey. Okay, guys, I would like to welcome Sage to the show from Weeping Willow Creations. Hey, Sage, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, this is actually our very first face-to-face. We've only communicated via keyboard up till now.
Cool.
Long story short, you guys have seen the new LEBRAIN train artwork with the train, and you can see the guitar pick up in the top corner there. Yes. I'd mentioned that I was really looking for some help with some artwork, and Michael Morwood, who actually left a comment here earlier today, he's been working today, but Michael Morwood is second-generation sausage fester. He is a nephew of Tom and Becky. And Michael said, my girlfriend does art. Do you want me to hook you up? And I'm like, yes, please. So that's why we have Sage here. She did the LEBRAIN train artwork.
It's fantastic. Well done.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you are also the third girl to ever appear on this show. To my immediate left here, we have Kevin, who is complaining that my show is too male dominated.
It's a sausage fest.
Yeah, right. So thank you for coming on. Where's Michael?
He's still at work.
He's still at work. Bummer. Well, thanks for coming on. I just wanted to plug your artwork. Thank you so much for helping me out. Her website is Weeping Willow Creations on Instagram. And I think that one behind you is one of yours, is it not?
Oh, no, it's a different artist.
Okay.
Support.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I just sell some art prints. I sometimes make jewelry and other little art stuff.
Yeah, I saw you had some like bone stuff that looked like bones.
Yeah.
Like, was that with the earrings with little bones on them? Was that what that was? Or
yeah, there was some earrings, and then I had a necklace.
So is Halloween kind of like your busy time for your style?
A little bit, I guess.
I saw the bones and I thought immediately, if anybody needs any Halloween earrings, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Sebastian says, hey, I know her. She made art for Becky, who I just mentioned. Yeah. Great artist, folks. There you go. From Sebastian Xavier Munier. So that's an endorsement right there. So what happened was I said that I wanted to train on my artwork, and I kind of gave her a vague idea of what I wanted, and she sent me back this picture, and it was like exactly what I wanted. So you have a talent, I would say.
Thank you.
Was I kind of like your first quote unquote commission?
I've only had a few. I think you were my third.
Good enough.
And I only started doing them this year, so thank you.
And how annoying was I?
Oh, you weren't annoying.
I kept coming back with changes. Can we make
That's
the guitar
okay.
a little bigger? Can we add music notes somewhere? Can we change this coloring? And it's like non-stop changes. So I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. As long as it was something you wanted, I was fine with doing anything.
Well, these guys seem to think it looks pretty cool, and
Yeah.
And one thing that I really appreciated is we did the train in multiple colors so that it doesn't have to look the same every week. I can have different colored trains. Goodness, I don't know what it's going to be. I think I have an orange, some orange in one of them for Halloween, so that'll work perfectly. If I need more colored trains, can we negotiate a deal?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Sage. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Weeping Willow Creations on Instagram. The link is on my site, but I'm sure it's very easy to Google.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for coming on, and say hi to Michael for me whenever he shows up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You take care.
You too.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
So story about Michael Morwood.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the very first night that I was live streaming. All of a sudden, my phone started ringing, and it was weird prank phone calls. And though he's never admitted it, it had to be Michael Morwood. He did this weird thing where Uncle Meat's phone was phoning me, but from his perspective, I was phoning Uncle Meat, and he's accusing me of phoning him. I'm accusing him of phoning me. It's all in the first live stream. It's very strange, and it hasn't happened since. And I blame Michael Morwood on that one. But he's a good kid. He's a solid kid. He comes from a good pedigree. The Morwood family are solid people. Yeah, so thanks, Sage, for coming on.
Yep.
I think Harrison's taken off. Oh, he's got breakfast.
Breakfast. I know that's
That's
crazy.
right.
He's got breakfast because he is in Australia. And he likes the train. And I'm glad that you guys like the train.
Yeah, it's great.
Breakfast.
The whole thing, the train, the LEBRAIN train, that all just works. Rolls
Yeah,
off
the
the
dick
tongue.
is
It's
awesome.
memorable.
Yeah.
Well, Jen takes credit for the name LeBrain Train. I couldn't say no to her.
It seems like you have a team of ladies that are helping you out.
She needs to use that power
I
for good, never for
suppose-
evil.
Suppose, do I have any other ladies I guess my sister's been helping me out. Yeah, you know what?
There you go.
Yeah.
Your mom, she's awesome.
She's been leaving. Yeah, I like how you can tell when she's decided to go and
Someone's calling you.
yeah. This is my ringtone, by the way. You might recognize that riff. It's Loner by Black Sabbath. I don't know
Which
who that
album?
was. No idea who that was. It came up private name, which means it's probably the third air duct salesman trying to call me. And
What
whoever-
album is Loner on?
That's from their last album, 13.
Boy, I need to play that again.
Yeah. See, this brings us to something that we talked about when that album came out, and Meat and I reviewed it. It's like, yes, it's good Sabbath. It's solid Sabbath.
Yeah,
but
it
is
was.
it the Sabbath I'm going to be listening to when I feel like listening to Sabbath? And no, it hasn't ended up being that. Not for me, anyway.
I just bought the End EP.
Yes, I saw you mention that you had a Black Sabbath EP that was twice as long as your Van Halen.
It was 55 minutes long.
Yeah.
What kind of EP is this?
9 Inch Nails have done EPs that are over an hour long.
That's wild.
Now, is that the same one that was exclusive at the shows for a while there?
Yeah.
I got it here.
Okay, because James got us those, right?
I don't
Yes,
know.
he
if
did.
it's-
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I
He
don't know if
wasn't
it's
even a
been-
Sabbath fan, and he went.
No,
to the
he was
shows
like,
and-
"Should I go?" And I'm like, "Yes." Why are you asking? Leave the house now. Go.
Right.
You know, like, what are you doing? Texting me? Should I go? I'm in Calgary, and Black Sabbath is playing down the street. Should I go? I'm like, yes.
So yeah, it's a legit copy. I don't know if it's the same as yours.
Here, hold on.
Mine doesn't come in a jewel case. No.
Okay. I imagine it's a reissue then, because it was only $15 on eBay, and like even the disc here, that looks a little dull.
Yeah.
But it is legit. It's not like a
Aaron's got the same one that I have.
Yeah, this is, but it's really thin. It's like a cardboardy.
Yeah.
okay.
Like if I was going to
It's
try
like
to
a-
find it in my pile of CDs back there, it would take me an hour and a half.
right.
Yeah, because it's There's nothing to it. It's just a piece of cardboard. There's not even a center thing for the disc.
Yeah.
It was just slid in.
Oh, really?
Hello,
in there.
I can talk.
Interestingly enough, that subject came up earlier. I reviewed a 3-inch single this week, and I can't remember which reader it was, but we were talking about how those 3-inch singles, when they came in little tiny cardboard slipcases, how they would just disappear in your collection.
Oh, yeah.
And same with that Black Sabbath The End. And my buddy Trevor, he collected a lot of singles by bands like Blur and Oasis, but he would outright refuse to buy any that came in those little slipcases because they would disappear in his collection.
I have a solution. I bought packages of those
the sleeves.
CD,
that helps.
they're the plastic,
the CD-ROM
type discs. Yeah. And I bought those. So what I do is I take the disc out of the case and I put it in this, and then I put them in the collection side by side. So it makes it about the width of a regular CD, and then it's easier to find.
Plus protects the disc.
Plus, it stops it from scratching it up.
So I had a buddy of mine.
From this guy, Hacks.
I had a buddy of mine who would actually take he hated any cardboard CDs. I don't know if he still collects them, but he would take them out and he would buy like a regular jewel cases, print out, off of his printer, a new thing, and put that in there, and then take the cardboard and keep it somewhere else. He would do that with that and the DVDs. Remember the DVDs would come in those cardboard things. He couldn't stand them, so he would take that out and it was a big production just so they would look a certain way on the shelf. But whatever.
Hey, for me, it was safety of the disc more than anything else.
Yes.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and I didn't want them scratched. Like, think of all those Pearl Jam bootlegs. They were all in those cases, right?
Yeah.
That's an investment.
Well, but I just don't like the slide. Like, I'd taken them in and out all the time. I didn't like that. So those have a center spindle, and they were cheap. You could buy a package of them about this long for $15, and then you'd have 100 of them or whatever. And then you just do
my biggest pet peeve, or one of my biggest pet peeves at the record store, was when people who don't like those slipcases would cut them with a pair of scissors and fit the remaining pieces into a jewel case.
Oh, yes. That's
and I noticed it. I noticed it especially with Tragically Hip, Trouble at the Hen House.
Yeah, or the live album.
And to me, that it's like throw it in the garbage.
Yep, it's worth it.
I would have to sell them at a reduced price, and you're like, oh, why can't you give me more for it? It's like, dude, this is fucking. It's a pile of shit. That's why.
Because you have no respect for Gordy and the boys.
It's just nobody's going to buy it. They're just going to look at it and they're just like, I don't want this in pieces. I want the actual, like the way it came when it was new.
Yeah. Those are always damaged. When I would see those hip albums, especially at work, and they're not in the slip, they're not in a CD case, they're still in the regular thing, but they're just destroyed.
Yeah.
Like they're all shredded.
Yeah.
I get the they wanted to use less plastic, so that was the idea. That was more environmentally sound, but they don't last.
No, they do not.
And you're actually surprised when you get one that is in good shape.
Yes. And it's really disappointing when you buy a really expensive CD and it comes in one of those. And that The End Black Sabbath was also like, this is my only copy I'm ever going to find.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it now when James is at the shore, then you're going to have to pay the late tax later.
Well, you can get it for $15 on eBay shipped.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's all I paid for this.
That's not bad.
I was really leery because I knew that they were only at the show, so I was like, am I getting a CDR? That's what I thought I was going to get, but it's like legit, paper and printing, it's not someone used.
That does not look like something homemade or bootlegged.
No. So it must have been reissued though.
I believe it was, but I can't recall the details, and Harrison is gone. So
I tried to look it up. I tried to look it up to see if it was, but I couldn't find it. Not that it's not out there, just I couldn't find it.
Just brain fart.
At least you're not in my wife's car.
Yeah.
Never gonna live that
I was
down,
just
mate.
going to mention something that we were on this track of being stupid. they tried to rectify the situation with the jewel cases a little bit later on. Not the jewel cases, the cardboard slip cases, by putting in a little styrofoam little center, and those would become unglued.
Mm-hmm.
They were eco packs or something.
Eco packs, yeah. Neil Young,
right? Springsteen did it. Yep.
Pearl Jam
did it.
Starting with the mirror ball or Merkin ball or whatever that was.
Mirror ball
that was Neil Young. Neil Young.
Yeah, Mirror Ball was the Neil Young album, and Merkin Ball was the single.
Right. Yeah, both with those eco packs, and I get it. Like Kevin said, cut down on the plastic waste.
Yeah.
But it was a very poorly thought out design, and there's nothing worse than buying a really expensive box set with the discs slipped in that way. John, the Def Leppard CD box sets. Do you have them on CD or just vinyl?
The box set, I have the CD.
So. You know what I'm talking about, how they have those slip-in. I think the Whitesnake box sets are the same. I think they're slip-ins, aren't they?
The Winger one.
Oh, the Winger one is a slip. Yeah, the Harem Scarum box set that I have.
They did put it in this.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps.
My Max Webster party box set was the same.
Max Webster, ZZ Top, like they're neat because they're like little albums. Like even the ZZ Top the ones that had gatefolds actually have the little gatefold in it, so it's kind of neat. But yeah, you're sliding them in those.
So then you're taking them out and you're putting them in those thin cases from Staples.
Well, and, to be honest, I just ripped them to the hard drive and I listened to them that way.
Right. I agree with Aaron's method. I think that's excellent. But I'm kind of more where Kevin is right now, where I'm just ripping into the computer. Basically, I'm only playing the CD once.
Yeah. Phil Collins re-released his albums in a box set, and that I bought that because I needed a third copy apparently. But it was like $20 for all the albums, and it came with that later album that was new. And so I'm like, I'll pay that because $20 for the new album is still reasonable. So because I already have all the vinyls and I already have all the CDs. So, and I actually have a couple of cassettes as well. So why not a third copy?
The only thing with that,
they came the same way.
With that Phil Collins set is it's all the new photos of himself as old. Like you don't have the classic.
I love that.
Yeah,
they have
redid them.
Artwork.
See, we still have somewhere here.
Oh, wow, that thing's only $21. Okay.
Like we still have like the Phil Collins. Like I don't know what to like because we have that box set, but I still end up keeping these because I don't feel like giving them away or throwing them out.
I know because they're so good. You just need more copies.
So they're just in limbo here. Like they're waiting to like either go to Value Village or keep them or whatever. I don't know.
It's almost not worth it. It's more worth keeping them. Like I haven't sold any of my discs in many years now. I just pass them on to you guys. I'd rather do that. Yeah, works for me.
Hey,
Aaron.
Yes.
I just wanted to show you because we're already at 9:20 and it's getting late.
Shoot.
And I'm going to have to get going. But I did want to show you my Max the Axe single.
Oh, cool!
Which came in the mail this week, courtesy of Vinyl Art Co.
Yeah.
Now you can if you want. I posted a video on my site of me playing the record and what it sounds like. Okay. But what these guys do is they cut custom vinyl picture discs to your specifications.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I took my favorite picture, although it's not a fantastic picture. You can see my camera wasn't able to capture Max's fast flowing finger work. It's just a blur, which is actually cooler.
Yeah, that's rock and roll.
That's just a blur.
Yeah. Accurate representation.
Right. So this is Randy live at the Boathouse on this side, and the other side is just blank.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be getting two of these made for Evil Kirk.
Nice.
Which sent me.
So glad that worked out.
Can you get those made double-sided if you wanted to? No.
Not by this company anyway.
Okay.
That was $55 Canadian shipped, which, I can understand if that's prohibitive. At the same time, Evil Kirk is special to me. It's my only song that I've ever had released. And
well, I still have the disc you sent me.
Right. So if you guys missed this from last week, that was what Aaron sent me in the mail. It has take one of Evil Kirk. And I believe Aaron is the only person, or was the only person in the entire universe who owned a copy of Evil Kirk, the first take. My copy was lost on whatever. My sister's copy, she doesn't know what happened. The producer's copy, gone. Aaron had the only remaining copy of Take One, the very first time I ever performed those lyrics.
And only because you sent it to me. So
yeah, on a mix CD.
Yeah.
On a mix CD.
With, just for the record, with Sabotage. Hold on. Sabotage, Helix, and Def Leppard.
Right.
Because the rest of the CD was also made by Mike.
Right. It was a mix CD that I had a mystery theme.
Yes.
And once you get to the end of the mystery theme, you realize it's science fiction themed songs.
Yep. Yep.
Back in the old days, before WordPress, Aaron and I kind of half-assed a website called Mix Brothers.
Yeah, well, careful, you're going to make us sound old here.
We were sending mix CDs back and forth like multiple times a month. Aaron sent me one that was all versions of Hey Joe.
Yeah, all
remember
different
that
bands.
Like 18 different versions of Hey Joe.
I'm sick of this song.
And we just, we were pretty creative about this. But eventually I just stopped making mix CDs, really.
Yeah, I did too, although I still do it for the car for the kids. Because it is incumbent upon me to educate the kids about good music. And I mean, when they get into their rooms and they're listening to their own thing on the radio or whatever, that's fine. But when they're in their car with dad, like today was Soundgarden.
Nice.
Right. So, and before that was Zeppelin before that. So I'm at least trying to introduce them to stuff, get that in there so that it's like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. And then if they can, fight over my LPs when I'm dead.
Are they liking it though, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My daughter is, she's a bit of a metalhead.
Nice.
Yeah. And Isaac is more, like Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams sort of speed right now. But hey,
cool,
it's all,
that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, I contribute to that. Yeah. Like, sure, go ahead, and they'll have their own things too. She likes listening to the pop radio. So all the Pop-Tarts, I don't know who they are.
No, I don't know either, man.
What's that? Like there's some Asian boy band that's taken everything by storm.
BTS, is that
BTS.
the one?
Yeah. What's their story? Does anyone know? Or
they all wear colored
K-pop
uniforms.
K-pop. I mean, I don't get it. They don't really dance. They don't really. I don't know. I don't get it. It's not like the Backstreet Boys or anything like that. I'm not sure. My daughter does not. My oldest does not understand the appeal. She doesn't get it at all, or how they sold millions and millions. And I'd never hear them on the radio. So it's like, how are they famous, or where are they getting their sales from?
It's got to be YouTube, right?
It's not North America. Maybe it's in
well, no,
Asia.
they're huge over here.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're the company that owns them went public, and that was making news on the on our financial part of our news. And I was like, who are these guys? Like, why is this such a big deal? But it was a huge deal that because the company that owns these guys.
Well, they ended up, I guess they had a piece of the company, and now each of the band members are like millionaires because of that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well,
which good
all
on
the power
them.
to them. Yeah. All the power to them.
And here I am driving a 12-year-old car.
I find it interesting that Aaron brought up Bon Jovi. Yeah. And we talked about Bon Jovi earlier in the show when I was I got boycotted by a friend's wife for making some not complimentary comments about John Bon Jovi. And I find it interesting that we didn't even mention his new album in this new release stream.
Well, you said we wanted stuff that was good.
I suppose, but maybe we should just briefly mention that there's a new Bon Jovi album out called 2020.
Yes, there is, and that's all that needs to be said.
Okay.
Is it that bad? Like, I haven't listened since.
I mean, it's
like These Days, I think, was the last time I ever paid any real attention.
That's my last favorite Bon Jovi
Tommy
album.
Lee's album. I will give it that. It is better than Tommy Lee's album.
Well, when he was on our morning show, he was promoting it like it was a song for this pandemic, like it was in response to the pandemic. And
There
but
is.
Mike, but is it a different song than the single?
Kevin, I don't fucking know. I will say that there's a song in there called "Do What You Can," which I think
That's
was
the one.
recorded during the pandemic.
That's the song.
Okay.
Do what you can.
Oh,
And I think that John, is that the one where like fans were like sending in lyrics?
Yeah.
okay, so it's the same song. So fans were sending in lyrics during the pandemic, and he wrote a
Yes.
song like that. Okay.
Early in the lockdown, when we were all actually locked down, Bon Jovi was going on and playing this "Do What You Can" song, and new lyrics would trickle in from fans, and you would add to the song. And I don't know what the final product sounds like, and I might never find out what the final product sounds like, but that's the genesis of it.
I got to admit that's a pretty cool idea. Like
It was a cool concept, Kevin, but it's Bon Jovi, and I really don't give a fuck anymore.
I'm not a fan, so like you're preaching to the choir here. But
Well,
I just
they've got to be better lyrics than "Bed of Roses."
It's okay, John, Aaron. It's not a bad. It's not
on.
terrible. I mean,
That's
he's
high
done
school
worse,
poetry.
dude. You haven't heard Captain Crash and the Beauty Queen from Mars.
I love that one too.
I hate that one, John. I'm sorry, John. We don't agree on Crush. I don't think.
On Crush, I like Crush.
I know. I'm not a fan.
That's got Just Older on it, right?
Yes, I love that song. I love
that's
that
the best song. Yeah.
That's a great song. You know, every Bon Jovi album has like one or two. Like on "Have a Nice Day," there was the title track, and there was "Last Cigarette," and there was "Novocaine."
Novocaine. Yeah.
On "Lost Highway," there was the title track, and there was "Summertime."
And I have to say, even on this House for Sale,
Yeah,
there
there's
were
the
a
title
couple
track.
songs. This album, there's not a standout.
No.
It's just, I mean, Limitless is okay. American Reckoning is pretty good. It's like a Bruce Springsteen kind of thing. Brothers in Arms or is it Blood in the Water? One of those is fine. But
Blood
most
in the Water.
of it, it's just kind of boring.
I'm sick of his. I don't know. What do I want to say? I don't want to offend anybody when I say this because it might sound offensive, but I'm kind of sick of his patriotic songs. I mean, I'm Canadian, so I can't relate to them anyway, but it seems so cheesy.
It's just generic.
Brothers in Arms.
Yeah.
It's like support the troops and everything. I support the troops, but goddamn, I don't need every other Bon Jovi song to be about it.
Yeah.
It's Dire Straits.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, I have to run. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
You know
Me
what?
too.
Let's call it a night.
Thanks for letting me in, boys.
Thank you,
Yeah,
boys.
good
Thank you so
times.
much. I'll be in touch regarding whatever we're going to do next week.
And if you're still watching, nice to meet you, Sage.
Take care, guys.
Good
You
to see you.
guys all have a
later.
wonderful night.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.